Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Friday, October 4th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got some college football action this Friday night. The Michigan State Spartans versus the number 6 Oregon Ducks. Kickoff is going to be here in just a few minutes, so get locked and loaded. We're going to be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and 100 in the donos on every single stream. Let's go, baby. Go Ducks. Got to get everything situated here. Cue up the music. Hope everyone's having a great Friday night. And I had to hit you with a thumb very similar to the one that we had against Boise State. 3-2 Michigan State Spartans. 4-0 Oregon Ducks. Let's go, baby. I'm ready. Jonathan Smith. We're very familiar with him. Now, being the Oregon State Beaver coach for quite some time. All right, let me get everything situated here. Sarah in the building, what's good? Matt in the building, what's good? Just got to get my main screen up and then my backup as well. So if there's any type of issues, we're good to go. Jason Benetti and Brock Hewitt on the call. Hopefully one day we'll end up getting Gus and Joel, maybe for Oregon and Ohio State. I'm hoping that we can get at least Gus and Joel together on a broadcast at some point in the season. All right, let's go here. This one will be my backup. This one will be the primary. All right, let's go here. All right, I'm ready. MSU in the building, what's good? Let's go, baby. About that time. The vapor carbons are out, baby. Let's go. Sarah in the building, what's good? Matt in the building, what's good? Hybrid in the building, what's good? Let's go, baby. I'm very excited. We got this matchup here. Then we're going to have a WWE Bad Blood tomorrow afternoon. Super excited about that. The card looks decent, for not a main pay-per-view. It's not WrestleMania. It's not SummerSlam. It's not Royal Rumble. It's not Money in the Bank. It's not Survivor Series. And sometimes when we have those kind of filler pay-per-views or PLEs, sometimes they end up not living up to the expectations of maybe some of the fans. But if you ended up looking at the card, it looked decent. So I'm definitely going to be doing that. So we'll do Oregon, Michigan State tonight, WWE Bad Blood, obviously for a watch party. We'll do that tomorrow in the afternoon. Then we got the Steelers and the Cowboys, Justin Fields and Dak Prescott on Sunday Night Football. I'll do a couple reaction videos too before that Sunday night matchup. And then on Monday, we got the Chiefs and the Saints. It might end up being a little bit of a defensive battle, not like what we saw yesterday with the Falcons and the Buccaneers. And I'll be honest, out of all the games that I've watched, with the Bucs, that one stung. One of it probably in my top 5. Just because we should have ended up winning that matchup after Levante David ended up getting that game-sealing pick. There was a face mask that wasn't called on Bucky Irving, let alone, Bucky ended up having a key fumble. And anytime you give up 509 yards to anybody, whether it's Kirk Cousins or anyone else, you kind of deserve to lose. But it definitely was kind of a curious type of, referee penalties, calling the penalties, not calling the penalties. A very similar kind of outing with some suspect calls or no calls, just like we saw in the Seahawks and the Detroit Lion matchup. And normally, I don't really think too much of it. But again, the heavy money line was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I guess they wanted Vegas to win and have everyone that bet on the game lose. But again, defense was piss poor. We had 4 defensive starters out like the Hawks, and not having Antoine Winfield Jr. really was big. And again, you got to give credit where credit is due. Kirk Cousins looked fantastic. Drake London looked great. Darnell Mooney looked great. I mean, even Kyle Pitts got in on the action. Really, the only person that didn't get in on the action was Bijan Robinson. But other than that, it was good enough for them to get the dub. So congratulations, Falcons fans. I'm not sour. But again, we're coming for you here in a couple weeks in Tampa. We're looking for revenge. Let's go, baby. B in the building. What's good? California-Oregon border. What's good with you? Let's go. Let's go. The environment in Austin is always electric. I wish I was there. I'm going to try to go to at least one game this season, but I don't know how many, that I'll be able to go to, just based off cost and whatnot. But like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Let's go, Ducks. Friday night football, baby. Oh, let's go. I'll take a little touchback there. Let's go, Ducks. I'm rocking the DeAnthony Thomas Black Mamba jersey today. I've been switching it up almost every week. 1 week it might be Justin Herbert. It might be Bo Nix. It might end up being DeAnthony Thomas, LaMichael James. Dylan, he's going deep. He's got a man. Double coverage. Incomplete. Going deep to Tez. And obviously, the crowd doesn't like it. They want to end up getting a little PI call, but I like testing the defense early. Let's go, baby. Second down and 10. And Michigan State bottles up Oregon. All right, there we go. I was about to say, ESPN, get your shit together. Let's get the scoreboard going. But we already know how that goes. Sometimes those employees like to take their sweet time. Trayshawn Holden, Tez Johnson. We're going to need some good creativity today. Trips left, third down and long. Uh-oh. Blasted from behind. Great defense by the Spartans. And again, it's crazy. In the last 5 to 10 years, we've ended up playing Michigan State more than USC. Go figure. But again, Michigan State is going to be one of those teams that's going to be hungry. They're going to try to come out here and beat Oregon. And Jonathan Smith is very familiar with us, obviously being the former coach of the Oregon State Beavers. Well, not the greatest start for Oregon. I would like to say that I'm surprised, but again, offensive line, running backs, wide receivers, quarterback, even though Dylan Gabriel might be the best quarterback in the Big Ten, this is going to definitely be a work in progress every single week. And again, just based off our talent level and just the overall vibes of Dan Lanning, that's going to get us through a good chunk of this schedule. But once we end up playing someone that actually is playing great football, maybe not just Ohio State, but someone else that punches us in the mouth early, there is a very strong possibility that the Ducks lose not only one game, but a couple. It could be 2 or 3 by the time the season ends. But again, I still think that, home field advantage does exist, even with this roster not being up to par to my standard. And hopefully the defense will make me proud here today because Tampa's definitely did it yesterday. Yeah, baby. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. There we go, baby. I like that. And again, I need some good defense in my life after seeing Tampa Bay shit the bed yesterday with their defense. And it shows you, man, defense wins games, defense wins championships. And again, if you can't defend, you are going to get ripped apart. Let's go, Ducks. Second down and 12. Little intermediate slant over the middle. Incomplete. Third down and 12. Good defense, Ducks. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Let's get to 10 within the first 30 minutes. And then obviously 30. And 30 to 50 will be the goal, depending on if we get enough people here in the room. And I ended up doing a Falcon Buccaneer reaction video to the highlights a couple hours ago. I just wasn't in the right mind frame to do it last night. That loss was definitely painful. And especially when, we had a chance to win. After Levante David ended up getting that pick, it should have been over. But Todd Bowles, man, that was a horrible coaching job. Maybe the worst coaching job I've seen in the last 2 minutes in a game ever. Shotgun set, third down and 12. Ducks get pressure. Wide open. First down, Spartans. Move the chains. Glover with the catch. Nice job, Glover. No relation to Danny. Come on, baby. Shotgun set, first down and 10. Let's see if the Spartans can capitalize. Play action fake. He's got all day back there. Good form tackle there. There we go. Tuioti, baby. Let's go. And I'm really happy that this Ducks game is on Friday today rather than tomorrow, because obviously then I'd have to pick and choose between the WWE Bad Blood and the Ducks. And, I wouldn't want to be able to choose between both. I mean, I'm going to be watching both, especially if they're going to be on around the same time. But I believe Bad Blood is on decently early tomorrow. Sarah, you would know. Is it on 3 p.m. Pacific? Is that correct? Handoff up the middle. There we go. I like it, baby. At least something's going good here for Oregon early on. Caldwell breaking through the line. Nice tackle. Third down and 3. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Ducks. Third down and 3. Let's get some pressure, baby. Handoff. Very, very vanilla call right there. You think you're going to get that on Oregon? I mean, you should have ran a play action right there. You had a better chance of getting a first down. But, we're pretty good at run defense. Obviously with pass protection, depending on, if they're going to be going to Muhammad or not. I mean, that's up to them if they want to test a guy like Muhammad. But, again, they have a better chance getting first downs, I believe, through the air than on the ground on Oregon, at least today. But we'll find out. Fourth down and 2. Yeah, 3 o'clock Pacific, 5 your time. Okay, so I was correct. I was thinking it was early, tomorrow, because it's obviously in the United States, not like in a foreign country. Fourth down and 2, and a timeout called. I know Jonathan Smith it definitely has a little bit of Chip Kelly in him, where he'll take some chances and whatnot, but do you really want to take a chance this early? But I guess it is all about field position and trying to strike first against a team that obviously isn't the same type of Oregon Duck team that I'm used to watching. But again, we're still good enough, I feel, to finish in second place in the Big Ten. We'll see USC, we'll see Michigan. There's going to be Penn State. There's going to be other teams that are going to challenge Oregon. And even though this isn't the same team as what we had last year, not even close, but I still think we have enough talent and enough good coaching out of Dan Lanning where we should be able to finish in second place overall. Again, it might be, 2 teams that with a very similar record for second place. Whether that's Michigan, USC, Oregon, we'll wait and find out. Penn State, but I like our chances. the only game I see us like more than likely losing is Ohio State, and we should be able to be in every single game other than that one. That's the one that might get a little bit away from us. But if the crowd ends up being super loud, which I know they will be, it's going to be probably the decibel record for that game overall when Ohio State comes to town. Now, we ended up going to the shoe with no Kayvon Thibodeau, and we beat them. So it is possible, that you can end up winning a game in kind of a harsh environment. But as we know, if you're Georgia, you're, Alabama, who ended up beating Georgia last week. They look great, right? Williams is a freak, right? We already know, and him and Milroe are a great 1-2 combo. But if it's Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Texas, they're going to pretty much have their way with everyone. Other than that, everyone else is, up for grabs. Those are the top four, and then everyone else can end up having a decent season, 5 through 10, 10 through 20 in the rankings, but they're not going to be on the same level NFL-wise and coaching-wise than those top four teams. So, again, it's going to take a lot, for Oregon to try to shoot up to be like the 5th best team in the country or 6th or 7th or 8th and, keep that ranking up there. And again, if we end up losing to Ohio State, I don't think we'll drop that many spots. But if we beat them, that would be huge. Because again, if we end up beating Ohio State, of course, you don't want to look ahead in the schedule. But if you beat them, there is a chance that, you would think, well, if they beat Ohio State, maybe they could go undefeated. But knowing Oregon and what we have, based off talent, chances are if we were able to come to play and beat Ohio State, there would be some rando team that we should totally blow out that would probably end up beating us, and we would end up with at least a loss before the season ends, or maybe even 2. But here we go, 0-0, Michigan State with no fear. Jonathan Smith challenging the Oregon Duck defense early. Come on, baby. 4th and 2. This is very ballsy. They're just across the 50-yard line on the 46. Handoff, no, play action. Going deep, got a man. First down, Spartans. And I guess Jonathan Smith has got a little bit of Chip Kelly in him. And what a catch, what a throw. First down, Spartans. And this is the last thing that we need, is that the Oregon Duck defense giving up big plays like this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Terrible. Come on, Oregon. Well, it looks like the gamble paid off for Jonathan Smith. Good job. 1st and goal. No one's going to be afraid of Oregon this year. Play action fake. Run it in. There he is. Diving in. Oh, did he lose the ball? Fumble. He coughed it up. Oregon got it. Woo! Yes. Let's go. Sometimes you get a little greedy and you try to get that extra lean in, and then the football gets punched out. There we go. We got incredibly lucky there. Wow. And again, the quarterback right there, you just punched it out, just like how the Atlanta Falcons did to the Oregon Ducks, but it got punched out at the 2-yard line. 44 had a chance there. Pointer, he ended up missing it, and it ended up going up in the air, dog pile, and Oregon recovers at the 1-yard line. Wow. After giving up that big play-action play for that first down, it almost looked like for sure 100% they were going to score a tutty. Way to come up big, Oregon Ducks defense. That's my boy. There we go. Now they're reviewing it. It's definitely a fumble. I mean, you can see in the replay. I mean, it gets punched out at the 2, and it's bouncing around. So, all right, baby. 4 more likes to get to 10. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Now we're at 8. We need 2 more to get to 10, 12 more to get to 20. Let's go, baby. Coin, man. He had a chance. If his head was on a swivel, and again, he just had a little bit better reaction time, he would have been able to recover for the Spartans. And then at that point, they would have been able to easily get a touchdown. I don't think we would have been able to stop them on the 6-inch yard line, 1 yard line. They wouldn't have gotten 3. They would have scored. One of the best defensive plays that I've seen out of Oregon this year, and even going back into last year with our elite team with Bo Nix. That was awesome. There we go. Yeah, I mean, how could they call that? I mean, thank God we have like a review system and whatnot. But initial calls by referees have been suspect, and people want to always complain about the Pac-12, the Pac-10, the Pac-8. But man, I really do miss the Pac-12. I wish we were still there, if I'm really being honest. I like the matchups with the teams better, and no disrespect to any of the fans that are in the Big Ten and have been in the Big Ten, like Sarah and obviously Cole with Iowa and a lot of the other fans that we have, like MSU. But it's like, it's new for us, but again, it's going to be new to be able to build these rivalries. But, when you end up being in a conference for your whole life and then you just get shifted over into something new, again, it just doesn't have the same kind of feel. And apparently the refs are much worse on the Big Ten side than the Pac-12 side. Jordan James, baby. There we go. Rumbling and a bubbling. Go, baby, go. First down, Oregon. Jordan James. Let's go. Move the chains. But again, as the years go on, there's going to end up being more rivalries. Obviously, you can have a rivalry with USC and Washington, Oregon State if they end up on the schedule, even if they stay in the Pac-12. We'll still have that. And then obviously, I have a feeling Ohio State and Oregon are going to be hated rivals forever. Gabriel, play action fake, little floater, and a good decision to throw that out of bounds. Second down and 10. And again, maybe Oregon and Michigan will end up kind of, beefing with each other. Maybe it'll be Oregon and Penn State, but I would assume Oregon, Ohio State is going to be the number one rivalry because more than likely we're going to be the two best teams in the conference. Michigan and Penn State were always going to be sniffing around as well. And then at some point you would believe Washington and USC, and USC is kind of already there. They're going to be very close as well. Washington in a couple of years, USC is already kind of in the mix. Little screen pass, and Michigan State very quick with the tackle there. That's Johnson, not a whole lot. Woods with the great coverage there. Third down. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Ducks. Third down and 11. Shotgun set, movement at the line, free play, Gabriel. Right at the sticks, Evan Stewart. Looking kind of swaggy with the yellow. I'm not really a big yellow jersey kind of guy. It's the only color of jersey that I don't own. Offsides, defense. Penalty declined. Result of the play, first down. Ready to bring that electricity. Let's pick it up, Oregon. Let's go, baby. I think a lot of games for Oregon are going to be like this, where we're going to start slow or we're going to get punched in the mouth early, and as we get better talent and we get better players, then we'll be able to be a little bit more offensive. But again, it all depends on your personnel, the depth that you have, obviously the play caller, depending on if we get someone better than Stein in the future, but again, it's all about the athletic ability and the depth that we have. And, we know the Big Ten boys, they got a lot of guys, that are country boys out there that lived out in that kind of farmland area. You get a lot of recruits that are outside of the Midwest, but you get a lot of tough, hungry football players in the Big Ten. And there's a reason why a lot of NFL players come out of the conference as well as the SEC. They're built different. Second down and 10, shotgun set. Handoff. Go, baby. Keep your balance. Keep your balance. Yeah. Run him over. There we go. First down, Ducks. Jordan James looking like MJD out there. Wow. Like a little bowling ball, bouncing off one defender and another. I like it, baby. Run his ass over. That was a hell of a run. There we go. And obviously, handing the ball off to Jordan James is working. We need to keep going with that. And again, this might be the weakest, running back, overall class, this season that we've had as a collective unit. We're still looking for, someone to be better than Jordan James, but for the time being, he is the one. Noah Whittington is the two, and Jordan James, if you run like that, you got a little bit of Bijan in you. You could definitely tell he's got a little David Montgomery in him, right? He's got a little Kenneth Walker the third in him, right? You can feel it, you can see it. And again, he definitely on this drive, and as well as the first drive, definitely reminds me a little bit of David Montgomery. I mean, he's got the power, he's got the speed, and he can run you over. There we go. First down and 10. Keep pounding the rock. It's working. First down and 10, flag on the play. Probably illegal formation. I didn't see a jump on the line, but that's probably on Oregon. Let's see. Maybe on the defense. Face mask. I wish they would have called that for Bucky Irving yesterday. That would have been offsetting yesterday. Personal foul, face mask, defense. Hell yeah. There we go. Automatic first down. Let's go. Let's go, baby. We're about to punch it in. You can feel it. Let's go, baby. Exploit Michigan State's weakness right now. Handoff. Jordan James right up the gut. I would have liked to see it kind of bounce to the outside. You don't really see a lot of teams with a halfback toss or a halfback pitch, because there is a little bit of risk if the running back doesn't have good hands and they fumble and it could be a turnover. But sometimes bouncing it to the outside is better than just running dives and counters over and over and over again. Again, a little jet sweep, a little reverse. We got talent. We just got to be a little bit more creative with play calling. Handoff. And the same type of play, a little bit closer there, but stopped again. Very vanilla here by Will Stein. And I get it. You got a guy that obviously has been rumbling and bumbling in Jordan James, but, again, you got to be a little creative. You got to have that creativity come out. Like, set a guy in motion. See if they're in man or zone. Set it up so maybe you go one direction with a man in motion and then you run it the opposite direction. They're not really doing a whole lot of that. It's very vanilla. Come on now. Come on, Oregon. We need something more than a field goal here. Oregon down to the 2, third and goal. Man in motion. Finally, they do something here. Play action fake. He gets chipped at the line. Gabriel, bootleg, looking for a man. And almost intercepted. Terrible. What was that? Big. Oh, did they give him the interception? Wow, terrible. Dylan Gabriel. And you could tell when they ran that play, the man in motion, they wanted to go to the tight end, but he got chipped at the line and then ended up losing his balance. And that is a terrible, terrible throw. You got to be able to know where to throw that football, high and away. And again, Dylan Gabriel, he ain't no Bo Nix, and he ain't no Michael Penix Jr. And again, it's like, if he was going to be more of a runner, then we could get those touchdowns and he would be a threat with his legs, but he's not as good of a runner as Tim Tebow. So at least when Tebow, maybe had some struggles with his arm, he can make up for it with his toughness and running guys over. But Dylan Gabriel doesn't really have that in his game. Like, he can run, but he doesn't run with the same type of, aggressiveness and fear, obviously, that he puts into the other team there. And if you're going to make a touch throw like that, you better make sure it's in a spot that only the receiver and tight end can catch it. And throwing it in traffic, off one leg, not ideal. Interception, not a good start here for the Ducks. Come on now. Take the sack, throw it away. And I get it, obviously the first look, based off the man in motion, and you wanted to go with a little play action bootleg to that tight end, but he got chipped at the line. But throw it away, take the 3. But again, in college football, people are going to take risks. And we were lucky enough to get them to fumble on the 1, but to go all the way down the field, right? And then to be able to have that happen, not ideal. Again, there's so much talent, with the wide receivers and the running backs, even with it being maybe RB2s and wide receiver 2s and 3s. But again, like, get Evan Stewart some looks, run some crossing routes, run some little, slants, a little 5-yard outs. Like, let's get a little bit more creative than what we've been seeing in the first month of the season. But again, until we end up, getting someone better, like, hell, I wish Chip Kelly was our OC. Imagine how much better our offense would look, even with, players that aren't as good as last year. He would be able to get the most out of our guys, 100%. And I'm not really too big a fan of Will Stein at the moment. So, but should have threw that one away. But, it is what it is. A lot of teams in college want to go for 6. They don't want to go for 3. But hopefully that interception will not make us pay. Obviously, they're going to have it deep, and hopefully we can get the ball back. Unbelievable. Malik Spencer with a nice pick. I see you. Yeah, they tried to get Ferguson, but he got chipped at the line, and then the whole timing of the play was off. But he did get held, though, too. And then the other individual there that he was trying to look at. And if you're going to make that throw, right, if Dylan Gabriel would have made that throw when he was supposed to, when the receiver was open, it would have been a touchdown. But he hung onto the football for 2 to 3 seconds too late. And then they tried to, thread the needle. And by that time, Michigan State's defense was in range to get the pick. Now, if he would have made it immediately, right when he bounced to the outside and had a nice zip on that football, it would have been a touchdown. But again, when you hang on to the football too long, sometimes that happens. Let's go, defense. NASCAR's going good, man. It's coming down to the wire. I'm not really sure who's going to win the championship, but I'm watching every single weekend. Get him! Yes! There we go. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for an Oregon Duck sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. There we go. That's a great way to make up for fumbling the bag, obviously, and not being able to get a tutty off the turnover. There we go. Zay in the building. What's good, bro? Let's go. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, baby. Let's go. 2nd down and 21. At least something good is happening today with the defense. Man in motion. Shotgun set, 2nd and 21. Handoff, nothing. Where are you going? We should be able to force a punt here. I mean, they better not get a first down on goddamn, 3rd down and fucking 19. Aiden Childs, 3 for 4 for 64 yards. But again, if they end up having another matchup with a receiver or a tight end on a linebacker, that could be the advantage that they need to be able to keep moving the chains. Come on, Oregon. 3rd down and 16. Come on, Ducks. This is not the Oregon Duck team that I'm used to watching, let me tell you. Shotgun set. Giles. Dancing, bouncing around. Little bootleg. Looking for a receiver. And goes out of bounds. If he would have threw that, it probably would have ended up in a pick. So nice job by Childs on, trying to take as much positive yards as he could. Oregon Ducks forced the punt, and hopefully we can get some points finally in this first quarter. I mean, maybe we can get some special teams touchdowns. I mean, that's what we might need. We might need to get a pick six, a fumble, a strip sack, maybe a punt return or kick return for a touchdown tonight. I mean, we might need to pull out, all the stops. And again, Big Ten football is different than the Pac-12. But remember, the Pac-12 was the best conference top to bottom last year. But in the past, there's been a few teams that have been good, but not everybody. Nice! Special teams tackle by the Spartans. It's definitely going to make, the Oregon players realize how physical the Big Ten is, and they've always been known for their physicality up front. Same thing with the SEC. If you're going to be going to the Big Ten, it's big boy ball, right? You can't just act like you're playing, some bottom feeders, every single week. And, even if we play teams that maybe don't have the best record or not ranked, doesn't mean that we can't lose. Again, we definitely need to be more efficient on offense and defense, but at least the defense has come through so far here tonight. 0-0, Spartans and Ducks. Heck yeah. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 likes within the first hour, and hopefully we'll get a few more people to hop in and hang out. We're at 10, so we at least hit the first goal in the first 30 minutes. Now we're at 11. 9 more to go to get to 20, and then hopefully we can get to 30 before the game actually ends, and hopefully the Ducks win. But I don't think I've been as nervous, watching the Ducks play ever besides this year. Just looking at all of the potential weaknesses that we have, and we do have some strengths on the team. Like, at least the defense is good. Like, imagine if the defense was playing like the offense, we would be in real big trouble. And again, we probably would already have a loss by now if the defense wasn't good for Oregon this year. So I'm happy that at least we have a defense. But I remember being a young kid and praying and hoping one day that Oregon's defense would be like Tampa's from back in the day, and we would actually be a legit good defensive team. But I didn't think that one day we would get the defense, but then the offense wouldn't be there. And we still have some names to be able to make the offense happen, but we're just not as consistent, for what we need to be great in 2024. So, but hopefully we'll get better and better each game. Yeah, I'm going to be definitely, keeping a close eye on every single play call that we get here from Stein. And I'm not going to say he's the worst offensive coordinator that Oregon has had. We'll wait till the end of the year to make that assumption, but it's not looking too good for him so far. But also, it's not just his fault. It's the lack of talent of the players that we have. It's like we need a little bit more top tier talent. Imagine having, like a LaMichael James or a D'Anthony Thomas, how much of a difference that would make, or even a Troy Franklin or a Bucky Irving on this team if they didn't go to the NFL. Like, think about how much better, not only Will Stein could be as a play caller, but how much better the offense would flow. Not as much pressure, on Jordan James, not as much pressure on Dylan Gabriel, not as much pressure on Tez and the rest of the guys like Evan Stewart. So, Tagger? Man, you're going back. I'd have to go back and look, to be able to. I'm not sure if he did or not. Maybe on one side of the ball, but again, we always have a lot of assistants, but we typically have a head coach and like an OC and a DC typically, so normally the head coach isn't calling the plays unless it's someone like Chip Kelly, But even like when we had Mike Bellotti, before Chip became the head coach, he was the OC for Bellotti when we ended up playing Des Bryant in Oklahoma State in the bowl game in 2008. I got that on VHS, and then obviously got the head coaching job after Bellotti decided to go down. But normally, we end up having, an OC or a DC. The head coach usually doesn't call plays unless it's someone like a fucking genius like Chip Kelly, which is understandable. You would want Chip to call plays because he's a one of one. He's special. And I haven't seen a coach like him since he left. James bouncing it to the outside. And like I said, doing some halfback tosses and some pitches to the outside instead of these vanilla, halfback dives and counters could be good for us. Jordan James has got some good hands. First down, Ducks. Let's go. Obviously it's a strong suit for the team right now with Jordan James. And eventually, once the run game gets going, then that big play over the top will open up. But keep pounding the rock, baby. Let's go. Gabriel, first down and 10. Going deep. Oh, he caught it. Oh, my. First down, Ducks. Are you fucking kidding me? Trayshawn Holden falling down on his ass on the ground and still catches that ball from Dylan Gabriel. Sports Center top 10 approved. Wow. What are the chances of him catching that on the ground? That was awesome. That was one of the best catches I've seen in 2024. Trayshawn, let's go. Gabriel sees him. He's wide open. He gets excited. He slips, falls on his back, and still is able to get the football, but is he still down? Is it him or is it a different player? Who's down right there? And of course they go and cut away to commercial. Hopefully that wasn't him. That was sweet. That was an amazing play. A lot of times when the player slips and falls, they're nowhere near with their hands able to even tip the ball to themselves. But it literally was a perfect dime to where he was on the ground and then bobbled it. And luckily there wasn't a Spartan defender to knock it away or intercept it from him there. And we were able to get the big first down. Hell yeah, that was sweet. Let's go. Oh, was it Dylan Gabriel that was down? I thought it was either him or Holden, but Holden got up, so I didn't think that he got up excited and then went back down to the ground. So that definitely makes sense. Hopefully he's okay. Oh, Devontae Adams commercial. He says, "Give me the hell out of the Raiders." He did a Edgar Allan Poe post on IG. Does that mean he wants to be a Raven? Does he want to be a Saint? Does he want to be a Jet with Aaron Rodgers? It'll be very interesting to see where Devontae Adams goes. We already know he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, great route runner. He's a stud. It's just a matter of being able to find, the right quarterback to be able to get a guy like that the ball. And they haven't had the right guy to get him the ball in a few years. And again, if he would have known that Carr was going to end up getting shipped out, he would have never ended up going to the Raiders in the first place. That was the whole, thing, is being able to get out of the Green Bay Packers and then joining from one friend to another and going to his college teammate at Fresno State. And I really feel that, if Carr was still there, Raiders, they probably still would be not that great. But again, both guys would be happy and they would have more wins, year in and year out than what they currently have right now. But again, the NFL is a business and you're not always able to play with your friends. Yeah, and whoever picks him up, the salary is only $1.1 million, which is nothing. So imagine if the Chiefs picked him up, or any team that is in need of a receiver, like how big of an impact that could be. Because we remember him in college, right? Him in his early part of his career, bouncing from team to team. Amari has the skills to be a top 10, top 12 receiver if he's got the right quarterback. If he doesn't, he's going to be more like a top 20, 25 wide receiver. And every once in a while, he can put up top 5, top 10 stats. But obviously, Deshaun Watson is terrible. So Jerry Jeudy and Amari Cooper aren't really able to show exactly what they can do in that Cleveland Brown offense. And I don't know if things will change, obviously, when Nick Chubb comes back, because when you have a serious injury like he did, he still may not be 100% by the time that he gets out there in a couple weeks. Whoa! Damn, he got blasted by 8. Oh, hopefully Gabriel's okay. And looks like the wind knocked out of him. And now we got the backup in there. Dante Moore from UCLA, Chip Kelly product. I like him. Oh, what a hurdle. Oh, baby. A hurdle and getting almost flipped over. And this might be unpopular opinion. I think our offense would be better with Dante Moore than Dylan Gabriel. I think Dylan Gabriel, is a good player. He's got a bunch of records. He's been playing for years and years and years, stacking up and racking up those stats, obviously, at Oklahoma and now at Oregon, but I just think the style of offense that would work the best for us, I think that, I think Dante Moore, even though he doesn't have the reps, and obviously he would be raw, to start off, but I just think the offense would flow better with him. And obviously at this point, he's not as good as Dylan Gabriel, but I just think our offense would flow better with him in the lineup. First down, Ducks. But it's not like, I want Dylan Gabriel to get hurt or to get benched, And obviously you don't want to run a 2-quarterback set like Washington is currently doing right now, because obviously that typically doesn't work and it causes some headaches and problems and whatnot. So, but I am interested to see what, Dante Moore could possibly do for this team. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see him this year unless Gabriel has an injury, but. And I know Moore is a lot more raw, but I just think, based off his legs, and the team that we have around, I think that he would be able to have some decent success if he got time. But if you're only going to give him a few plays here, a few plays there, then obviously Dylan Gabriel's the guy. But if you were able to, go to Dante Moore for a full game just to see what he could end up pulling out of his bag, he had a few games for UCLA and Chip where he flashed and he showed some greatness there. And I think he's a better runner than Dillon Gabriel. And I think that's one part of the offense that we're missing. We need that guy that can run bootlegs and play action and run away from the defense. And Gabriel really doesn't have that in his game. Handoff. No, keeper. Bouncing it to the outside. Touchdown, Oregon. Great play call. There we go, Stein. Nice job, Dillon. There we go. Very Tim Tebow-like right there. Touchdown, Oregon. There we go. Nice job, Dillon. Good blocks up front. And the man in motion gets a hat on a hat. Dodges one. Look at that block right there by 3. Perfect. Ferguson with the block. If he doesn't make that block, there's no tutty. Dillon Gabriel putting his head down, holding on to that football securely. Touchdown, Oregon. There we go. Defense. Yes. I was just about to say that. That was kind of Marcus Mariota vibes to me right there, too. Great play call. I like it. And that's where Dillon Gabriel will be able to have success when he is a runner, is when we end up having him in the red zone. And obviously, 10 yards, obviously to the end zone, he's going to be able to run at a very high efficient level. But if we're going from the 20 to the 20, I think Dante Moore would be the better runner. But anytime you get close, 20-yard line, 15-yard line, 10-yard line, 5-yard line, Dillon Gabriel is your guy. Nice job. But again, Ferguson with the great block up front. He doesn't make that. Gabriel probably gets tackled at the 1 or the 2. But we get the touchdown and the extra point. There we go. Very Marcus Mariota-like. And finally, a call that you and me can agree on, Matt, that Stein obviously called a good call. We got good execution and a good block up front by Ferguson. And lo and behold, boom chakalaka, 7-0 Oregon. There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, let's go. Oregon jerseys are always undefeated. Again, it's all about the details. People don't realize when we got Nike and we got Phil Knight money. But again, we also have some of the most intelligent, bright minds that try to come together to be able to create these uniforms with the cleats and the socks, the armbands, the headbands, the little stitch, on anything that we have. There is so much time and energy put in to the Oregon uniforms and the helmets and the designs, and just looking at the little wings and little subtle details in every single jersey, cleat, sock, helmet combo. It's awesome, man. It's like you don't really see a lot of people, being able to go to this type of depth and the creativity with the uniforms. And again, we're always going to have the most, and we are going to be the trendsetters. And again, most of our uniforms are very, very nice. Like I said, it's very rare that you see an Oregon uniform that looks ugly. Again, it's like, you might not like yellow, but the way the uniform is put together, yellow on top, yellow on bottom, black helmet with the wings on the side and the O in the back, that's beautiful, man. Dan Lanning, Sophia. Unsportsmanlike on the kicking team. All right, we're at 10. Let's go. Now 11. 9 more to go. Let's go, baby. And I think, as the season goes on, this is kind of new territory for us, to be in the Big Ten. And again, if we can finish in second place behind Ohio State, with maybe one of our worst rosters that we've had from top to bottom besides the defense in many, many years. I mean, just imagine when we start getting better recruits, better transfers, and we end up actually having a top tier roster like we did last year. I mean, it's going to be scary, and again, even with our roster not being up to par to our Duck standard, we can still finish in second place in the Big Ten. how many teams could be from another conference, go into a powerhouse like the Big Ten or SEC and do that? Not many. And we got to make sure that, Dan Lanning gets the credit that he deserves. But we still need more top-tier talent. I'm waiting for that next Marcus Mariota, that next LaMichael James, that next DeAnthony Thomas, that can really change the outcomes of games. And hopefully we'll end up getting that particular player sooner than later. But again, Chip Kelly was able to recruit those kind of guys that typically would have went to USC, Ohio State, Michigan, Bama, Georgia. And I don't really think that we've had those type of elite recruits since Chip. Chip was special, and I don't think we're ever going to have a guy as good as him, besides obviously Dan Lanning that we have right now. He's going to be the closest one, especially if we end up, getting to a natty one day or winning it with Dan. Now he'll be able to do something that Chip was not able to do, but Chip had an aura and still has an aura about him. And I've never felt that. Like, he has that Urban Meyer, Nick Saban, kind of aura. And again, you don't really feel it with too many coaches, but it's like as soon as you saw the visor and you saw him on the sideline, you already knew that he was a mad scientist genius. And you knew no matter what, we had an amazing chance to go very, very far. And the recruiting that he was able to do was amazing. And I'm just, waiting to be able to get those type of athletes one time again. Give me the LeGarrette Blount. Give me the LaMichael James. Give me the DeAnthony Thomas. That's what we need, as well as top-tier offensive linemen and defense as well. Someone to take the top off, where they don't have any answers for that particular player. I mean, Alabama's got Williams, right? I want one of those on Oregon. But again, that guy is something else. I mean, he's must-see TV, and I haven't seen too many guys that are seniors, typically in high school, 17 years old, whether it be a junior or a senior, coming in and beating up on grown men. And, we thought Travis Hunter was good. Yeah, Williams for Bama is pretty special too. And these guys are, not necessarily, the most heavy. A lot of these guys are kind of light and very fast and agile. But, man, the freakish ability of some of these guys in college football nowadays is pretty wild. 7-0 Oregon, end of the first quarter. Judah in the building. What's good? $14 tutties a couple years ago. Yeah. I mean, that one play that he made, against Georgia's NFL players, where he went up and he mossed a guy, right? And then he ended up doing a spin move. And then he did another spin move, and then the two defenders ran into each other, and then he did a Tyreek Hill and had that speed burst down the sideline. There's not many guys that could have done that. Maybe him and Travis Hunter, and that's it. And that's fun to watch. Like, you don't expect, to see something like that. Maybe DeAnthony Thomas could have done something like that as well, but these kids are just getting more and more, just with the freakish ability to be able to do things that you only thought were possible in like the college football NCAA game. Like, they do video game type of things in real life, and can't wait to see these guys in the NFL on Sundays, whenever that may be. Ohio State's got a couple. Reflect in the building. What's good? Yeah, a little sloppy start, for Oregon. Michigan State ended up going for it on fourth down on a play action, got big yardage, and then was threatening to score. Quarterback, tried to lean in on a hesitation. We punched the football out just like Atlanta did to Tampa last night, and then we ended up getting the ball on the one. But then we went all the way down to the field, and then we couldn't get it done. So it's nice that we're finally able to punch it in, but it's going to be a learning curve being in this conference. And again, even though the Pac-12 might have been the best overall conference top to bottom, the style of play in the Pac-12 is incredibly different than the Big Ten. Obviously pro-style offense. A lot of guys are a little bit more meat. They got the meat on the bones. Offensive line and defensive line are bigger. They're more physical, and so we have to be able to match that physicality and get those better recruits to be able to match up, against these, teams that have these beefier guys. Ooh, big stiff arm. Nice gang tackle by the Ducks. There we go. But at least we were able to punch it in, and we have a 7-0 lead. So not ideal, but again, we have the lead, and I do believe a lot of the games with Oregon are going to be close this year. Some we might end up losing, on the last possession or in the fourth quarter, but I don't really see Oregon blowing out a lot of the Big Ten teams. I think a lot of the games are going to be pretty close, especially when we're on the road. Now, it's one thing when you're struggling, pass incomplete, and they're about to punt here, Michigan State. It's one thing when you got the Autzen crowd behind you. So when you fuck up, the crowd can will you to a victory, and you can hear, 40, 50,000, go, Ducks, and you can get that energy and that aura and that vibe. But if you're on the road, regardless if you're at Indiana, you're at Michigan State, you're playing Penn State, wherever you're at, top tier, middle tier, bottom tier, we definitely are going to feel it. And it's going to be something that the players are going to have to adjust to in that type of environment. Also, the stadiums are bigger in the Big Ten compared to some of the schools in the Pac-12. So some of the schools are going to have over 100,000. At Autzen, it's about 50, 55,000, but they typically aren't going to have everyone, and every seat filled up. I mean, unless it ends up being, standing room only and whatnot. But, typically 40 to 55,000. I'm not sure if they'll end up showing what the total is here today, but we got Mets and Phillies tomorrow, Padres and Dodgers. I'm not really feeling that Mets-Phillies series, but Padres-Dodgers is electric. Let's go, baby. What'd you have for dinner tonight? Oh, and you look at this. I asked and you already put it in. Oh, chicken rice ball. Wow. How was it? Would you get it again, or is this like a staple or like a regular place that you go? Woo! 4.9. Wow. Sounds amazing. I like Indian food and like spicy food. Little check down. Go, baby, go. Go, baby, go. Go, Ferg. Go, Ferg! Go, Ferg! Go! 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 Hang on to the football! Oh, he almost got it stripped from behind. First down, Ducks. 63 yards. South Indian American cuisine, man. You got my stomach wanting that right now. That sounds amazing. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 before the stream ends. Great play call, great blocking downfield, and great yak yards by Ferg. First down and 10. Handoff. Jordan James has been rumbling and bubbling today. There we go. Big hit. First down, Ducks. Michigan State, they might not be a top tier team in the Big Ten, but man, they hit hard. I mean, Michigan State's going to be hitting just like Michigan. They might be from the same state, but again, they're in the same conference. Here we go, 2nd and 1, baby. Shit, me too. And I just wish they would have went to Cade Otton a few more times. I really think they could have scored with him if they used him. They had one throw that was off that could have got me maybe to 10, but I don't regret picking him up. Sam Laporta had a bye, but I think all of us in fantasy would love to be able to have a guy that actually could put up points at the tight end position on a consistent basis. And then all of a sudden, when the guys start doing good, right? Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, George Kittle, what happens? They get hurt, and then they end up being out for a week or two. The NFL is just unfair. It's like, can't we just get some consistency? I mean, that's what it's about, is consistency. First and goal, little toss. Whittington to the outside. Yeah, these days, 7 for a tight end is like 10. And it never used to be like that, but that's the reality. And if you end up getting over 10 with your tight end, that's like getting 15 or 20 back in the day. Like if you get an 11, it kind of feels like a 20, because again, you're just not getting a lot. And there's been so many games where your tight ends are getting 0 to 5. And I went back and I read a report that this is the lowest tight end targets and touchdowns in like 15 years. Gabriel, go down. So it's not only, the game plan, right, but it's less targets, less opportunities, and, obviously less first downs, less touchdowns. It's just a crazy number. I had to go through and dig and kind of figure out why is the tight end position not being used this year, and it hasn't been this low since like 2011. It's been like 14, 15 years where we've seen this dramatic drop-off. And there's talent at the tight end position. But for whatever reason, they're going to more slot receivers, big plays downfield, whatever it might be, quarterback draw, halfback draw, just doing different types of schemes. And really the one position that is feeling the worst of it is the tight end position. Second and goal. 13 from Kincaid. I don't even know what it's like to get over 10 in fantasy and at tight end because I haven't done it all year. I haven't even broke 10 at tight end. Uh-oh. Intercepted again. Second pick on Dylan Gabriel. You're not Bo Nix. I mean, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're not as good of a runner as a Tim Tebow, and you're not as good of a passer as Michael Penix Jr. or Bo Nix, and you've got to be able to throw some zip on that football. You might have been able to get away with that at Oklahoma, but you are killing me. You might have to bench him and put in Dante Moore. Come on, bro. Second fucking interception. That's 2 touchdowns that he's given up. We could have a 21-0 lead right now, and he's thrown 2 interceptions in the end zone. Come on, Dylan Gabriel. And again, I have to call it how I see it. Again, if Dylan Gabriel was efficient like Bo Nix, you wouldn't really hear me complaining about him. But again, every single game, there's always something else that happens with that guy. And again, his offense and his ability worked great for the Big 12 and obviously, SEC with Oklahoma. But the way that he plays is not a good fit for Oregon. You know what I mean? You're a lefty. You're not smooth. You don't run hard like a Tebow. You're just kind of like in the middle. You're not as good as Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. as a thrower. You're not as good of a runner as a Tebow. So you're just kind of like in the middle. And you know what I mean? You're not like really great at anything. You're just kind of, you're good at certain things. But again, it's like he doesn't have that zip on the football that you need to be able to thread that needle. And that's a second interception in the end zone. Again, if we're playing a team like Ohio State, I mean, game's over. You got to be able to be better than that. And Dante Moore, I would love for him to get into the game. And I know they're not going to do it. And Dante Moore, he'll only play if Gabriel ends up getting hurt. I highly doubt, unless we end up dropping like 2 games in a row or 3, then maybe Dylan Gabriel will go to the bench. But, it's probably going to have to take an injury, for Gabriel to, go to second string. But give me Dante Moore. Show me what you can do. He had a little bit of success with Chip. He's a better runner with the football. And again, I think he'll have better zip on the football as well. Now, will he be as accurate as Dylan Gabriel initially? Probably not. But I think over time he could be. And again, like I said, I just don't think that Dylan Gabriel is a good fit for this Oregon offense. And neither is Will Stein as OC. Again, it's like the wrong offensive coordinator, the wrong quarterback. Now, it could work somewhere else on someone else's team, but this is not Oregon football. Not good, I mean, no, we were getting better results out of guys like Kellen Clemens. It's like we ended up having Joey Harrington, but after that, we had Jason Fife and Kellen Clemens. Give me someone like a Kellen Clemens, someone that can stay in the pocket, a guy that made the NFL as a backup and was there for a long period of time, longer than Joey. And sometimes, it's like I wanted to have a left-handed quarterback. I wanted one that was smooth, like Michael Penix Jr., not a guy that is a poor man's Tim Tebow, and unfortunately, that's what we're getting. He doesn't run as good as Tebow. He doesn't throw as good as Tebow. And even Tebow couldn't really throw that well. He was more of a shot-put thrower. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I think Dante Moore should start, honestly. Give him a shot. I mean, what do we have to lose? Obviously, besides, Dylan Gabriel's happiness, but I just think that, based on our offense and the weapons that we have, I think that Dante Moore would be able to get the football out quicker. He would be able to throw the football in the right locations better. And yes, he's going to make mistakes too. He'll throw picks and he'll end up, having some bad throws. But you look at Dylan Gabriel running and throwing in midair. You got to be able to get your bearings. And when you're throwing across your body, across the field like that as a lefty, again, not a lot of teams are going to see lefties, and sometimes it can be an advantage when you're good, like Michael Penix Jr., but if you're not, the defenses are going to take advantage of you, and they're going to feast, and that's what we're getting right now. I'm ready for a right-handed quarterback. I'm sorry that I wanted a lefty. I have a thing for lefties, but not lefties like this. This is not the lefty that I want. Someone that's not fast, that is not accurate. And then if you're not fast and you're not accurate, then you better have the intensity and the fire like Tim Tebow, and you don't have that either. He doesn't have the same leadership qualities. He doesn't have the running ability. He's not accurate. At least give me that fierce, competitiveness that Tebow had, and that ability to be able to run for first downs and run guys over. Gabriel does not have that. Put in Dante Moore, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I know we're not going to do a 2 quarterback. It's funny that you bring that up because we were just talking about that before you came in the room. What you guys are doing is hurting you guys. You got to make a choice, one or the other. But nice throwback starter jacket there in the crowd. But I just think the offense would operate much better with Dante Moore. And again, I know that he would struggle a little bit too. But I think I think Oregon fans would enjoy Oregon football more with Moore under center or in shotgun set. 3rd down and 3. Come on, Ducks. Incomplete. Good defense there. And again, it's like I have to be brutally honest for this team that I've been watching and loving my whole life since the 80s. When something is good, you're going to know. When it's bad, it's not like I like being able to rip into certain guys. But again, at the end of the day, if we want to be successful and hang on to this, top 10 ranking and not be considered the most overrated team in the top 25, we got to be able to be more efficient out there. And thank God our defense is good. Because can you imagine if our defense was bad and it was just as bad as the offense? Shit, we probably would already have 2 losses by now. We'd be like 2-2. So at least the defense is the bright spot, right? But we got a long ways to go. And we got to be able to recruit better players that are going to fit our system. And Stein and Gabriel aren't it. And I know it's too late for them to transfer and get the hell out of here, but these guys are not a fit for Oregon. That's why I feel like no connection with this team. Normally I'm so connected to the team and I'm connected to the defense, but this offense is not something that I'm used to. Air in the building, what's good? Captain Oreo in the building, what's good? And also, arm strength. Dante Moore's got better arm strength than Dylan Gabriel. If you're a lefty and you're throwing on the run, right, you have to have that extra zip to make sure it can get there before the corner or the safety pounces and jumps on that football. He doesn't have that zip, Again, he can throw a deep ball, a go route to Tez for 60 yards. Hell, any quarterback can do that, but we need you to be efficient and accurate on the run and bootleg and play action. And obviously when he's throwing on the run or across his body, he's not very good. It seems like on a scale of 1 to 10 for power and obviously for location, Gabriel is like a 6 or a 7. It's just not there. Now he can throw a 9 ball, for power and strength deep if we need to go for like a 60-yard go route to Tez Johnson for a touchdown or Evan Stewart. Yes, he can do that. But again, you win the football, from the 20 to the 20, not, just throwing bombs on, every drive. That would be great if we could do that, but that's just not who we are. So 7-0 Oregon. Man, hopefully we can win this. How was SmackDown? Was it good? I got to watch it. We're going to be doing WWE Bad Blood tomorrow. So for any of the people that are in the room that are wrestling fans, come and join your boy. 3 o'clock Pacific. And it'll be for, 2-3 hours. We'll hang out, and then we'll be doing Steelers and Cowboys. Obviously, on Sunday Night Football, I'll do a couple reaction videos prior to that. I ended up doing a Buccaneer-Falcon reaction video. Now, obviously, if I was petty, or I, didn't care, I was lazy, I could just say, fuck it. That game hurt me too bad to give the Falcon fans the enjoyment of seeing a reaction video to that highlight. But, I wasn't able to do it last night, but I did it today, and it's out and available there. And you got to give credit where credit's due. Now, was there 4 guys out, like on the Seahawks defense, just like the Bucs? Yes. Did they miss a face mask on Bucky Irving? Yes, that would have been offsetting and not put them in, field goal range on, when they ended up getting the ball, right? Bucky ended up fumbling, and that was the turning point in the game, right? But again, if you give up 509 yards to Kirk Cousins or anybody, you don't deserve to win. And it was a hell of a game. But after Levante David picked that ball off, We should have been able to get a couple first downs to end it instead of being conservative and trying to run the football when they had timeouts and thinking that we were just going to bleed the clock out. You were just trying to hang on, not trying to win the game. And when you try to hang on to a win, what happens? You typically lose 9 times out of 10 if the other team gets the ball one more time. And again, when you end up being too conservative and instead of trying to put your foot on the gas, that's exactly what happened. We needed to have the foot on the gas. They just tried to barely hang on to the win, and they gave the ball back, and that was history. So that was probably the worst coaching job from Todd Bowles and company I've seen. Jordan James rumbling and a bumbling, looking like David Montgomery or Kenneth Walker III or Brees Hall out there, baby. He's been the one bright spot out here today. Or for Air Jordan's sake, maybe a little bit of Eddie Lacy back in the day. He might not have as much weight on him, but at one point or another, right? Amon Green, right? Eddie Lacy. They had their moments of shine. You know, a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker. You know, shotgun set, and breaks that tackle. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. First down, Ducks. Flag on the play. That's coming back to a hold. Damn it. Hopefully that's against Michigan State, though. But again, GG to the Falcons and their fan base. No foul on the play. Good. Pick that flag up. And then hopefully we'll get revenge on the Falcons. And hopefully our defense is healthy. Antoine Winfield Jr., it's like when you're missing the best safety in football, you don't really realize how much of an impact it is. But obviously not having him for these 4 games has been brutal. And then the one game that we don't have him and Vita Vea, what happened? We lost to the fucking Broncos. And we know the Bronco defense is legit. Patrick Surtain is the best corner in football right now, arguably. Kind of looking like it. But again, a game that we could have competed and won. But sometimes when you have key guys out, it is a big, big deal. Weddington, he's very slippery. Gain of 6 there. Packers legends, Green and Lacy. You know what's crazy? In my McFarland collection, I actually have an Amon Green McFarland from back in the day. I used to scoop up all kinds of McFarlands, and then there's people that do custom McFarlands where they paint them and they make them into like college players or other people, or they make it into like a Pro Bowl jersey or they do a different colored jersey than what they have in the original figure. And I know some of the Amon Green figures have turned into like Oregon Ducks and a few of the other running backs in college, based on that particular figure from back in the day. So Captain Oreo with a $5. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. First dono of the day. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. A little cactus jack. Bang, bang. We're at 5. 95 to go. Thank you so much. Yes. 3 streams in a row. I feel like it's my birthday. Air is back on the channel. Always good to have you here, man. And then obviously wrestling is always going to come first for you, but anytime it's over or if you have a chance to hang out, once it's done or together, we love having you here. First down, Ducks. Here we go. And at this point, can we even trust Dylan Gabriel? Obviously throwing the ball here in the red zone. He already has 2 interceptions in the end zone. So now it's like you have to use his legs and he has to do his best version of Tebow, or you hand the ball off to Jordan James or Noah Whittington. Or we end up doing like a jet sweep or a reverse with Tez Johnson, Evan Stewart, or Trayshawn Holden. But again, it's like, do we really trust Gabriel to throw the ball? And the answer is no. I like the run game here today. It's definitely looking good. First and goal. Let's add on, baby. Look at James. James looking like David Montgomery out there, baby. I like it. No worries, Captain. You're good. And again, you got yourself a little bit of a battle with Shep. And again, for our teams that are 1-3 at the bottom, don't be surprised. At some point or another, when Captain, Sarah, and me start to get a little hot, I feel that, you're still going to have a reflect at the top. He's not going to lose too many games unless injuries really start to catch up. He's definitely the best team in the league. Shep is second. But after that, Chief probably is the 3rd best team, with Mooney and London and what he's got. Touchdown, Ducks. There we go. Jordan James. I like it, baby. There we go. But after reflect, Shep and Chief will Chief. Then everyone else is kind of jumbled up in one big group. And then we'll find a way to see who ends up being, number 4 and number 5, and again, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to have that same identical record, 2-3, 3-3, and then eventually 4-3, and we'll see where it goes. We're going for a 2-point conversion. Let's kick the extra point. We're not Chip Kelly, all right? You can look at the look. Atticus Sappington is sufficient enough. All right, no need to try to get to 15-0, even though it does look intimidating on the scoreboard when you're up 15 instead of 14-0. But just get the job done. Don't be cute. Sappington, Atticus, and it's good. 14-0 Ducks. Pretty cool, that we're up 14 considering that we had 2 interceptions in the end zone. There we go. Nice job by Jordan James, baby. Well, obviously, with Sarah, matching up against Reflect, not ideal, and having Jonathan Taylor out, and obviously getting 16 points for my Bucks kicker, that is, the reality is anyone that's playing Reflect is going to have a hard time winning unless all your guys are healthy and hitting. That's just the reality. And then the way that Shep and Chief are playing with their guys, it's going to take a lot. But again, if you end up having some of his players that go out with the addition of Justin Fields, I could have used him. You could have used him. You got him. I got Denver D. I really feel that, at some point, with your roster, Captain, there's a chance for you to climb in the standings as well as myself. So it's just a matter of time. And again, we ended up hitting the kind of short end of the stick. Chief started off 0-2, and he's won essentially 3 in a row. So he's right there. He went from being the worst team in the league to being third best in 3 weeks. So a lot can change in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks. And even though that we're at the bottom and we've had the most points scored against us, at some point we're going to play teams that aren't as good as us, and we're going to end up mollywopping them, and we're going to have our guys hit. It's just we have to be patient, And at least on the bright side, you didn't have 3 losses in a row like me. I won the first game, but 3 losses in a row, I've never had that happen to me ever, let alone, there's been times where maybe I finished the season with maybe like 3 losses, but I've never lost 3 in a row. And I've never, lost 3 out of the first 4, won the first and lost 3 in a row. But again, this league is very competitive. It's the most competitive that I've ever seen the league in 8 years since we've been doing this on the channel. Everyone is very neck and neck. And again, everyone has at least a win at this point. And we're definitely hungry to be able to climb the standing, Sarah, Captain Oreo, and myself. And I'm not sure, out of the 3 on the bottom, if anyone's going to be able to make the playoffs. But I wouldn't be shocked, that if we ended up getting someone that ended up going on a run. But Chief, Shep, Reflect, that is the standard right now. And now we just have to be able to catch up. And, if we're looking at rosters, Sarah's roster, Captain, your roster, my roster, I feel our rosters are better than what our record is. So we just have to be patient and wait, and hopefully we can get there. And then we got other teams that are sprinkled in the middle with like Mad and Double E and Zini Panini and a few others. We're going to see on how it all plays out here in the next few weeks. But I'm just ready to get into the dub column, And again, it's like I can't have both. It seems like this year it's either the Bucks win, I get my ass kicked in fantasy, or the Bucks lose and then I win in fantasy. So I'm not really able to stack chips and have like wins on both, but hopefully one day I will. Oh man, Casey Matthews, go Ducks, man! I haven't heard that name in a minute. Yeah, that would have been cool, especially with the linkage with Bruce and some of the Matthews family that has they were in the league for quite a long time. Wow, Clay and Bruce, Casey, man. You just hit me with some throwback names. Wow. That's crazy, dude. Mitchell, Ballard, Moriarty. Oh, man. The triple M's at linebacker. I always remember, the Duck rosters, from back in the day. And then in the college football game that used to be on PlayStation and PlayStation 2, I actually would, manually put in the names of all of the Ducks. And then on those old college football games, they would recognize it. So if you would end up putting in like, Wesley Mallard, there'd be like Mallard with the tackle. But again, if it was a name that was unusual, then they might not be able to pronounce it. Like if I put my last name, it would just have been like, cornerback 3 or wide receiver 5 or whatever. But, I think that was one of the cool points in college football, that if you actually took the time, and it took me about an hour and a half to manually put in all the names, but it was dope. Harrington would get a touchdown. Harrington for 6. Like, it was cool to be able to hear the last names in the college football game instead of, quarterback 3. It made it, take that game to another level. First down and 10, 14-0, Oregon. Let's go. Dylan Gabriel has not played well, but we still have played good enough defense, and Jordan James and company have got it done. Hit him! Giles, first down, Spartans. Casey was a beast in college. We've had a lot of guys that were a beast in college, and just didn't pan out. I mean, look at LaMichael James and DeAnthony Thomas. They were undersized, but they were Heisman candidates. They were amazing. We haven't had athletes like that since, but they couldn't even make it in the NFL, right? LaMichael fumbled in the Super Bowl, then he went to the Dolphins, and then after, 4 or 5 years, that was it. And a lot of NFL players only make it within their first rookie deal, and they don't make it past 4 or 5 years. And unfortunately, we had COVID. D'Anthony was on the Chiefs, then went to the Ravens. He decided to fish and not like play, and said, fuck it, COVID. And then no one called him after that. So if D'Anthony would have been more committed to the Ravens, maybe he would still be in the NFL. It's kind of like, you missed out on a Tyreek Hill kind of player, or the human joystick. And Dante, like with that, and Dante Hall. He might have only been like a special teams guy, but it's just kind of a shame that LaMichael and D'Anthony weren't able to make it to their second contract. I would have really loved seeing those guys develop a little bit more. I mean, hell, even Marcus Mariota winning the Heisman still wasn't able to be up to his potential. Great in high school, great in college, but just, a little injury prone. Get him, yeah! Yeah, baby! 12 noon, you know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Definitely should have been a hold, I agree. Oh, I'll be watching Huskies in Michigan. You best believe I'm watching that. I watch every Husky game. I try to watch every USC game, every Husky game, every Cougar game, every Beaver game. Like, when I say I'm committed to the Pac-12 and the teams, and even the teams that are in the Big Ten, get him! Yeah! 12 noon, you know what time it is? Time for another sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Speed kills. I'm hungry, baby. Ducks defense is hungry. Monte Ball, yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of players on Wisconsin and Oregon that didn't live up to the expectations. Megan in the building. Brett in the building. Colton looks like a professional photographer. When I first saw the photos, I thought it was you that took the picture until I read the caption. He's got some talent. It sounds like he's a writer, photographer. He's got multi-tools to be very successful in life. You're doing a great job. Or maybe he can end up, writing, his own little novels and books, and then taking the pictures, that go in the book as well. There's not very many people that can write on an elite level, or, try to be, that type of person, and then also have that love for photography as well. But the pictures are good. I mean, if you would have told me that was a 10-year-old boy, taking those photos, I mean, it looks like someone as an adult that would take those. They look good. Megan with a 20. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Let me know what you want to do for a photo. You want some Miller Moss? Yeah, I could tell that camera is nice. It's not just like a cell phone. It looks awesome. Third down and 13. Shotgun set. Giles. Get in, baby. You're not going anywhere. Oh, my. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Another sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Oregon defense is eating like it's Thanksgiving. Give me some leftovers. Turkey, cranberry, stuffing, rolls, everything. With the pumpkin pie, cherry pie, apple pie included. Give me some leftovers. Yum, 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 yum. How often is it that the Ducks get 3 sack lunches in a row? Like fucking never. That was awesome. There we go. There we go. Okay, I will. I still got to be able to send you the Chase Elliott shirt, hopefully before the NASCAR playoff end up ending. So we can be twinsies. You can have one, and you don't own one at this time, right? You don't have a Chase shirt yet or anything like that. I don't own one, and I would love to be able to, get one and be able to rock it and obviously wear it, during races and whatnot. So. Reflect with a 3-er. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. A little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Yeah, it's like my dad. My dad was a teacher in high school for like 30, 40 years, but he actually was very good at poetry, and he's had a lot of stuff published around the world. And again, he ended up writing kind of like his life story. My dad is still with us. He hasn't passed yet or anything like that, but my dad ended up writing out like his life story and in a book, and he like gave it to me. It's like I almost feel like I want to be able to read it like now, but maybe I want to wait till like down the road, not necessarily like when he's gone, but something that I haven't, dipped into yet. I just feel like the timing has to be right for me to be able to do that and whatnot. But yeah, it seems like your son is, on his way. Your son is named Colton. My dad lives in Colton. Coincidence? Very eerie. Very eerie. 14-0 Ducks. Yes, we got a lot of goats in the room. Okay. Well, again, I know you wear more men sizes rather than the female cut and whatnot. So I'll probably go to the NASCAR website today or tomorrow, and then I'll end up sending you a message. Or if you have time to go to the NASCAR website and take a look at what Chase has to offer for shirts, and you can send me some photos, and then maybe we can come to an agreement on which one looks the best. And you might get a different one than me, and then we can figure out which one is good, and then I'll get your address, and then I'll end up getting that mailed out to you. Maybe that's why we have the similarities and whatnot. So your dad was a teacher for 30 plus. That's crazy. Now, my dad did English. He did humanities. He did yearbook when no one else wanted to do it. My dad, is like, if you see my dad, and people have seen pictures of my dad, he kind of looks like Santa, because obviously my mom is, 100% Japanese and my dad is European. And obviously, when my dad was in the Air Force, he met my mom in Japan, and then she came over here to America and whatnot. But to have the Czechoslovakian and a bunch of European, and then obviously having the Asian side, it's like I kind of get best of both worlds. Like my mom, as far as being kind of an artist and having that creativity, and then with my dad, and obviously having the discipline and obviously the technique to be able to engage with students. And my dad for the longest time was like voted as like the coolest teacher at the school, and to be able to be voted that, like to be known as like one of the coolest teachers at the school for 30 plus years, I don't think there's many teachers out there that could get that particular role. But my dad is a little soft-spoken, very intelligent, but again, hippie, loves Grateful Dead, loved In Living Color, had a poster of like Homie the Clown in the classroom, obviously, photos of all of the cheerleaders and all the people in the building, obviously on the wall, and just had a different type of personality and knew how to engage with students in a way to get them to want to come to his class and learn. And obviously one of my heroes, not Ken Griffey Jr., but my dad. But that's crazy. I didn't know your dad was a teacher for 30 years plus like my dad. That's cool. Maybe that's why we have that bond as well. First down and 10. Because I always felt like at one point, maybe, not necessarily following in my dad's footsteps as being a teacher, but I always thought, I could help, being like a big brother, obviously in that type of program, in the Big Brother program, being a mentor, being a teacher, maybe being a psychologist or a therapist. Like I always thought that there would be something that I could end up doing to help. But obviously my love of sports obviously is number one, but being able to help people is always going to be number two. Short game there by Oregon with less than 2 minutes to go before halftime. Simon is a teacher as well. Wow. And we'll get some Miller Moss up here, or some Pete Carroll for you here. 6 pages in. Nice. That's something that you can do together with him and whatnot. It's always cool to be able to see some creativity out of kids nowadays. Of course, kids are going to love the video games and love that. Playing with actual physical toys, it seems like it's disappearing. The last generation to do that, was probably the generation in the 90s. That were like the last ones to really enjoy playing with toys. Now it's all about the tablet and the phone and the computer games. Little check down to Jordan James, bouncing it to the outside. Gain of a couple. High school English and history, nice. Grade 12. Yeah, my dad usually did, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, not freshmen, so. But mostly like juniors and seniors. Choir, wind ensemble, and jazz. Wow, that's very cool. I mean, my dad's a big Jerry Garcia guy, big Grateful Dead guy. Little screen pass. But I know initially when I transferred to the school, everyone knew who I was before I got there because there was only pictures of like the cheerleaders over the years. And then the only guy photos that were on my dad's classroom were me when I was a kid. So everyone already knew like who I was. But if you look at my dad and look at me, a lot of people thought I was adopted. They didn't think that like that was my dad and whatnot. But then if you see photos of us when we were younger, obviously, I take after a little bit of my features of my dad, but, probably look more like my mom. So obviously her being Asian and having more of the Asian DNA. First down and 10. Hand off to Jordan James. Uh-oh, he got loose. There we go. Looking like Amon Green, Eddie Lacy, looking like David Montgomery, Kenneth Walker III. Little hobble to the sideline. Hopefully he's okay. A little Jonah Coleman photos. I got you. Yes. Okay. Lots of teachers in the fam. Really? Wow, that is so cool. Jordan James looking like a beast out there, running over guys like MJD, David Montgomery, Kenneth Walker III, Breece Hall, get out of the way. I got you. And if Reflect wants anything, you let me know as well. As we go into halftime here with a minute to go, I'll be able to throw up some photos. First down and 10. Gabriel, there we go, wide open. Trayshawn Holden, get that first down. There we go. Put your head down. First down, Ducks, move the chains. There we go. This game has been ugly with the 2 interceptions in the end zone by Gabriel, but at least we were able to hold Michigan State to a 0, which is amazing. Again, our defense is our strong suit by far. And I don't know if we're ever going to see Dante Moore in 2024, but I wouldn't mind it. But we're probably only going to see Dante Moore if Gabriel gets hurt. And I don't wish an injury on anyone, even if he is struggling throwing the football. Landing with the timeout. Oh, I definitely do. They have the best running back in the country. I mean, besides a few of the others that we talk about on this channel with Coleman and obviously Iowa's running back. But, when you end up having the best running back in the country that could win the Heisman this year, and, we didn't play well, again, it doesn't surprise me one bit. Like, this team is the weakest team that we've had in years. Again, like we got overrated, going into the year at 3, got everyone's hopes up, including mine, that maybe we could actually get to the Natty and win. But after watching that first game, you could totally tell we were nowhere near as good as last year's team. And not only that, much worse than anyone anticipated. We should have been ranked in the top 25, but definitely not in the top 10 to start the year off. We had to earn it. Maybe being ranked like 15th to start the year off would have been more appropriate. And then working our way up into the top 10 and now the top 6. But, we definitely were overranked. That's very clear. 10 for 16 with 2 picks. Come on, Gabriel. Shotgun set. Gabriel, bootleg, looking for a man. Incomplete. I just don't really like the way that the ball comes out of Gabriel's hand. Like I said, he doesn't have that zip and that nice spiral that you like to see out of a lefty. It's like the first time I've seen a lefty, and now I wish I had a righty. It's like normally lefty, I'm like, yes, please. Chris Mullen, Michael Vick, Michael Penix Jr., Steve Young, yes, please. But with Dylan Gabriel, man, it's like, more like a Tim Tebow, but like worse. And at least Tebow could run, and he had passion. So he made up for it in other ways where maybe his arm wouldn't be able to do it. But Gabriel, what does he have? He doesn't have the same kind of he doesn't got the same kind of passion, and he doesn't run over guys like Tebow did. So it's like Gabriel is just kind of like good, but he's not elite at anything. It's a problem. I never thought, I would wish for a lefty, and now I wish for a righty. But I guess that's what happens when you get a guy that isn't really accurate and doesn't have that good arm strength and is not smooth. He's a little bit too big on the upper body. You want someone that actually has, a little bit more smoothness with the delivery, not someone that kind of shot puts the throw. And if they're going to shot put the throw, they better be a hell of a runner like Tebow. And Gabriel is okay as a runner. He's not terrible, Gabriel? Incomplete. What was that? Terrible. Jesus Christ. We got some brilliant minds in this room. I'll tell you that. Why do you think we have to boot out so many people that come in here trolling and hating? Malik Spencer, he's like, I need another pick. 3rd and goal. And again, if it's not there, take the 3. Don't force it in there for your 3rd interception in the end zone. Trips left. And where's the jet sweep in the reverse when you want one? All the spell teaks. Browns and the Commanders. Yeah, and you know what I mean? And it's like, you just got to be kind of honest, when you're watching a player like that. It's like, and it's not like a homegrown guy from Oregon, went to high school here, and, we have an extra reason to vote for him and root for him. He's an outsider. He's a guy that, went to Oklahoma and then came here. And so it's like, we have no attachment to him. We don't owe him anything. He doesn't owe us anything. He came over, to try to better his chances to go to the NFL, but he is not an NFL quarterback. And if he goes to the NFL, good luck. I wouldn't want him on my team, even as a backup quarterback. No thanks. Shotgun set, 3rd and goal. Gabriel. Touchdown, Oregon. Nice throw to Evan Stewart that time. He had a little bit of nice touch with it. There we go. There we go. I like that. There you go. Finally, he gets a touchdown pass. A nice throw right into the breadbasket, which he should have done in those first 2 picks that he had, but finally getting the job done. 20-0 Oregon. Hell yeah. Extra point is up, and it's good. Nice job, Oregon. Great play, great execution, and only throwing it where the receiver can get it. No one else had a chance there. Right in the hands, and a great job to be able to get it into your hands and not wait for it to hit your body. Great job by Gabriel. Great job by Evan Stewart. 21-0 Ducks. And I got photos coming up here for you guys here in just a moment. Mac Jones. Oh. Oh, that kid's tapping. There you go. He's loving life. Puddles is loving life. Kyler, tough matchup with San Francisco. Yeah. But Kyler, it's probably a tougher matchup for me with James Conner, with the guys that they have up front. But again, there is wiggle room. With the secondary for the Niners isn't usually the strong suit. They got, Talanoa Hufanga, but other than that, normally that's the weakness of the Niners is their secondary. So as long as they have time to be able to go through the progressions, Tyler should be able to, zip it and rip it a little bit. James Conner, might not be able to get a whole lot of stats. He's not going to be able to put up a 20 unless for whatever reason he breaks through. He's probably more likely to get 10 points in fantasy rather than 18, 19, or 20 like he did last week. But, we'll see what happens. Again, it's all about the O-line and if they can protect long enough. Not every quarterback can be a Jaden Daniels. In the first 4 games, he's got the highest completion percentage out of any quarterback in the last 50 years. So, when I say that Jaden Daniels is the truth and he is the NFC version of Lamar Jackson, you better believe it. And again, they're 3-1. If you think Jaden Daniels isn't good, you really think they would be able to get to 3-1 in a division with the Giants, Eagles, and Cowboys? Hell no. For a team that's usually a bottom feeder, he's a truth. I mean, they still need more, but again, he's already shown he's got the talent and he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, either him or Neighbors on the Giants. It's 100%. But it's kind of cool to be able to see a Lamar in the NFC, and it gives us a reason to watch Washington now, where before we didn't really care. 21-0 Oregon. All right, let's get some photos up. Just do the USC and the Jonah Coleman's here real quick. Acho is annoying. Terrible. Wish there was more photos of Jonah Coleman. There's not really a whole lot to choose and go through, unfortunately. And a lot of them I can't transfer over. And a lot of them aren't really high definition. They're kind of, I just went through 5 and none of them are transferring over. Can I get at least one to transfer over? My God. All right, I went through my 7th photo and I finally got one. I don't know why they are hating against Husky photos, but wow, so many that just won't. They're just not agreeing. All right, hold on here. See if we can get some USC up here as well. I don't know why it does that with like college photos. Like sometimes like they'll transfer over and it's not a problem, but then sometimes it's like I got to go through like 10 just to get one to come through. But or they're too blurry, or the dimensions aren't right, you know, and I'm trying to get it to fill the screen so it looks smooth and clean, you know, because obviously photos that don't fit the screen, it just doesn't look as good. But sometimes it just, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Like this one doesn't even clear the whole screen, but close. It looks like I'm having a little bit better luck with the USC photos. But Captain, if you got anybody else you want to see besides Jonah Coleman, you let me know. And then I can throw up a couple other photos for you after I get some more of these ones up here for the people that donated. 21-0 Oregon. It hasn't been pretty, but we'll take it. And some of these are still not up to my standard. There we go. Finally, a photo that's sharp and clear that looks like HD 4K. I just hate having photos that aren't up to the standard here. What time is the Huskies-Michigan game on tomorrow? I'm definitely watching that. I'll be up early tomorrow. Got WWE Bad Blood at 3, but well, that's cool. Yes, he is. Super fun to watch. Both of these players, Jonah and Miller Moss. I'm a fan of both. I don't hate just because it's not my team. I mean, I just love greatness wherever it's at. All right, Justin Herbert. Now, Justin Herbert on the Ducks, Justin Herbert on the Chargers, Justin Herbert in high school. Oh, wow. A couple beats in here at USC for Megan. The glory days. Doesn't fit the screen, but hell, I mean, that's what I can, pull up. So sometimes with the older stuff, the dimensions aren't there, but still a cool photo. And obviously these numbers are different now, but when this post was made, I would say that's pretty good win-loss record in college and NFL. Obviously now the numbers are different. Someone would have to look up to see what the actual number is now, but when this post was made, that's pretty fucking dominant. Anything else that you want to be able to see, Megan, you let me know. If you want Glenn or anything like that, Stefan, Anson, you let me know. I got you. Yeah, like I said, I got a little bit of, that was a team I loved watching when I was a kid. So, sometimes when you end up having something like that, like a family member, even though you might be, a Hawk fan, sometimes it's like, you might not be able to root for the Hawks as hard or against a team like that. Like everyone's going to have, their teams, and depending on, who in your family, who they root for and support. Sometimes, maybe rooting for them when they don't play the Hawks, but obviously you know how that goes. Now let's go some Justin Herbert. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Jay Herb, best quarterback that maybe we've ever had, if we're being honest. I mean, Mariota ended up winning the Heisman, but, Herbert, obviously more successful, even though he gets hurt. His problem, just like Mariota, he's got top-tier talent, but he gets hurt all the time. But hopefully at some point or another, he will be able to stay healthy, and maybe one day the Chargers will break the curse and make the playoffs. I mean, obviously they are going to be a run first and a defensive heavy team, but hopefully one day he'll be able to play like he did at Oregon for the Chargers, unless he ends up going to another team and they give up on him, and then he ends up going to whatever team next and then having ultimate success there. (21-0) Oregon. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, good luck, man. Again, you never know what might happen on any given day, and we'll see what happens with the Guardians in the postseason. Good luck. Yeah, like this jersey that Herbert has on right there is one of my favorite jerseys in my collection. With the puddles on the shoulders, Very slick. And I love green apple. It's one of my favorite colors, but unfortunately, when you have a green screen, right, you can't really wear this because it ends up being transparent. So it's like anything that I have that's like yellow or green, and I don't really have anything yellow, but I do have a lot of green apple stuff that I can't wear on stream, unfortunately. So that stinks, but I definitely like rocking it. Love the green apple. It's just a fucking fire look. My dude, Jay Herb. Oh, Puddles, Oregon's mascot. Squeeze in a couple more photos for Megan with her $20 dono. Give some of her favorites here. Handsome fella. UNLV in Syracuse, 21-17. We're at halftime now, 21-0 Oregon. Just trying to get as many photos as I can for you guys before we get back into the action, which is going to be here in just a few minutes. Appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed those. Law and Order SVU debuted last night. Season 24 as great as ever. Highly recommend if you're looking for some good drama in your life. You know, and again, drama in real life, not so much. Drama on TV, on Law and Order SVU, sign me up. Yes, please. Hard to win an Natty, in general. Again, unless you're Georgia, Bama, even Ohio State has been like the third best team for years and years and years. You don't see them with a bunch of championships. Michigan ended up getting one, obviously, even though Ohio State has, kind of been in the mix. But they're usually the team that would like play Oregon in the Rose Bowl as like the third place, kind of game. And we know that their recruiting is just as good as anybody's, as Bama or Georgia. But college football with 100 Division I teams, it's not easy. And again, we already know, Georgia and Bama, they got kind of a stronghold on the rest of the college football scene. But now with Michigan, with no Harbaugh, and obviously with Bama, with no Nick Saban, DeBoa, it's kind of keeping them right where they were. And if he can continue to have success like that, maybe DeBoa will end up being one of the newer pieces like a Kirby Smart, maybe not as good as Nick Saban, but I mean, beating Georgia the way that they did was pretty fucking impressive, if you ask me. You started watching The Rookie? Is that a cop show? I don't know if that is, but it sounds like a cop show. And I know tonight they're debuting The Unexplained, which is good on History Channel, and the proof is out there. And I like stuff like that too. So, and I ended up watching the debut episode last night of Mountain Men, hour and a half debut. Great show. I love Mountain Men because I love being able to see these guys in the middle of Alaska or in the middle of nowhere, trying to hunt and gather materials and to be able to be self-sufficient. And I love the cast. They always have some really unique individuals. They got one guy trying to do the dog sledding for the first time. It took him 9 years to get to a point to end up doing the Iditarod. And you got other individuals trying to go on like a moose hunt in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's just a really cool change of pace, from sports and comedies and drama to be able to watch some of those Alaskan shows on like History and Discovery. Love it. Oh, okay. What network is that on? Is that like an ABC show? You watch that on like Netflix or Hulu or something? All right, we're at 15. We need 5 more likes to be able to get to 20. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Now we're at 16. Only 4 more to get to 20, and then we'll be good to go from there. And then once we hit 20, maybe we'll be able to hit 25 or something before the stream ends if we get more people to come through. ABC, yeah, I think I saw a preview for it, and that's why I thought it was ABC, because my memory usually is pretty good. I was like, okay, I think I saw a preview for that a while back, so. Yes. That was sad. Great show though. I love anything that has to do with Alaska or that type of vibe. Like I said, I'm very envious of those people, because it really takes a strong individual to be able to do that, and not everyone could do it. But the freedom and the joy that you can get, living that type of style of life. Obviously, you have to get a lot of wood. You have to be able to know how to hunt, but to be able to wake up, and to see the landscape of the trees and the mountains and the lakes, if you have one near you, it's breathtaking, man. Like, I don't think I would be able to do it myself unless I had help, obviously, but I definitely, admire those type of people, that want to kind of live like the old school life of how people used to live a couple hundred years ago. And the scenery is absolutely majestic and beautiful. I've never been to Alaska. I've never, traveled in that region, but it would be something I would love to be able to see with my own 2 eyes before I die. All right, we're ending halftime here. Oregon Ducks kick off. Oh yeah, we talked about that earlier. That was my guy. Rest in peace, Frank Fritz. And again, Mike didn't talk to him back in like 2021 after they booted him off the show for a couple of years. And the debut of American Pickers is next week, I believe Wednesday. So they'll probably do some fake bullshit tribute and have his photo up there and act like they miss him and that they care about him and whatnot. But definitely, that was the person that I watched the show for. And I never missed an episode in like 10 years. But once they booted Frank off the show, I stopped watching. I rarely watch it anymore. It's not the same with Mike and his brother, Robbie, and Danielle. And then they have the other guy that is the friend that owns the shop that sometimes goes on trips with Robbie. But it's just not the same without Frank. And plus, I bonded with Frank because of his love for toys. Cast iron, and they both loved, gas and oil. And obviously, we know Mike is more of the bicycle guy, but I'm more into toys, and so I liked his personality, and I thought Frank was more genuine, the bundler. Mike seemed kind of fake to me, not genuine. He does have the passion for, preserving the history, but seemed more of like a narcissistic, selfish dude. When it came down to it, if he had to choose between money and Frank, he would choose money. And that's just too bad. And I think that 90% of the people that watch that show, they watched it for Frank, and obviously the both of them together. But once that duo got broken up, I don't think people watched it as much, and I know I didn't. All right, Megan, take care. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you for the support. Yeah, rest in peace, Frank. That's my guy. Frank Fritz till I die, baby. First down and 10, shotgun set. Quarterback keeper by Childs. Hit him. Hit him. There you go. Have fun at the reunion. Eustace and Preston, yes. Preston is the one that passed away. I love Eustace on the show, too. He reminds you of like an old miner or like one of those old school guys that lived in like the 1800s or like even in the early 1900s. His hair, the way he talks, his overall good nature and vibe. He gives you like almost like he feels like one of those guys that was like in a time machine and then he's living now, but he could definitely survive back in the 1800s and the 1900s. He's one of my favorites on the show. Yeah, well, he ended up having a stroke and whatnot. But again, when he had either issues with alcohol or with the stroke, and some of the diseases and problems that he had, they just kind of kicked him to the curb. And even Frank stated in 2021 that Mike hasn't even reached out to him in like 2 years. And supposedly they were really good friends and they grew up together, but that's what happens sometimes. People end up. First down, Spartans. Nice run by Childs there to get the first down on Savage. But, not every relationship that you see on TV doesn't mean that they're going to be, friends for life. Sometimes money and ego change people, right? So, yeah, Crohn's. Yeah, and he definitely didn't take care of himself. He definitely got overweight. He drank too much, ate too much. Obviously he could have been a little bit better, but his love for Indians and Harleys and that kind of lifestyle, it caught up to him for sure. Get him! There we go. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is in Oregon. Duck sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Let's go. Eustace is so crafty too. I love it when they end up, finding like old tools, and then they, like when he tried to do his own lumber, and then trying to be able to find like old school tools that they used from back in the day that he can repurpose and try to make, obviously workable in 2024. Awesome. He's a stud. It's like the Oregon defense. Second down and 17, 21-0, Oregon. I wish Tampa Bay's defense could have played like this yesterday. Playing a soft zone the whole game and not making any adjustments. Todd Bowles, you deserve to be fired, my guy. That shit was terrible. 509 yards to Kirk Cousins, and there was barely any pressure all day. And there was literally like a 5-yard gap in between the receivers on every fucking throw. Unexcusable. Yes, they are. Shows you, Hawks and Tampa, you have 4 starters out, how terrible. But you guys, actually looked a little bit better than we did. We didn't look good at all. You guys still were making plays even with 4 starters out. We didn't make any, besides Levante David with that pick, But, and again, you guys got screwed, by calls just like we did. And again, Vegas had a heavy line of Tampa winning. Makes you kind of wonder, screwing the people, so that way Vegas and the bettors, would have a big loss and then Vegas would win, as well as those betting websites. Now, offense and defense. Now, we had 4 or 5 out in our game. Yeah, that's cool that you watch the show too, man. I'm always watching those. 7. Cool kid in the building. What's good? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Do your boy a solid, cool kid. Smash that like button for your boy. We're trying to get to 20, and hopefully we can end up getting that. We're at 16. We need 4 more to go to get to 20. Let's go, baby. And I ended up doing a reaction video to the Falcons-Bucks games, which was a little difficult. But again, you know, it would have been more difficult doing it last night. There was no way I was going to do it last night. You know, too frustrated last night. But I went on a long, long walk with Paisley, had a good dinner. You know, ended up watching some throwback cartoons of the Ninja Turtles from the 80s. Put me in a good mood. And then ended up doing the reaction video today. So we're at 28. Let's go, baby. 72 to go, and we're going to be doing WWE Bad Blood, the pay-per-view PLE at 3 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. And we'll do the Steelers and Cowboys for Sunday Night Football, and then the Chiefs and the Saints on Monday night. I'm very excited about that. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll end up doing some MLB playoff baseball. So we'll see what is on tap on those 2 days, and we'll probably end up doing the Dodgers. Second down and 17. Childs. Holding on Oregon. Call that. That was a big hold. Childs going deep. Got a man. Incomplete. Deservedly so, because that was a big fucking hold. Obviously, our D linemen are beasts. And again, you're going to have to hold us almost on every play. But how is the ref not calling holding here? He's holding him. It's very clear. Glover, what happened to my hands? Oh, yeah, Hawks are definitely beating the Giants. 100%. Neighbors is out, too, so. Wandale Robinson will get probably like 15 fucking targets, but they got some injuries on that squad. Singletary sounds like he's going to be out as well, so even if Singletary and Neighbors played, Hawks would still win that game, but could be a blowout. Throw is low, incomplete. Glover, not Danny. 4th down and 17. Only 17 subs away from 20,600. 17, we need to get to that number, hopefully sooner than later. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys very, very much. You know, for the people that are regulars here that always come through, you know, I think it's good for not only your mental health, but my mental health. And it's just nice to be able to have a strong bond with the regulars. And there's going to be people that come and go, and I've said this in the past, but it just feels good to be able to have your tribe, your people, your crew, your gang, you know, and just knowing that, you know, you're going to have those people, you know, every single day. Shout out to the GOATs in the room. I appreciate you guys very, very much. And again, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be where I'm at now in this position. You guys are always doing big, big things. And, you know, you got to realize people show up not only for me and the thumbnail and the stream, and, you know, they show up for you guys too. So don't you guys ever forget that. 21-0 Oregon. 10:35 left in the third quarter. I got to get a drink here and check up on Paisley. I'll be right back. All right, Paisley Pup is snug as a bug on the couch. Don't want to wake her up. Appreciate you guys. Oh, look who it is. It's the Paisley Pup. I got to get her a snack. She just woke up, so I'll be right back. Give me a sec. All right, I'm back. 2nd down and 9. Gabriel. There we go. Tez with the spin move. Hit him with the spin cycle. Whirlpool. Watch them close twice. 1st down. Ducks. There we go. Got good bonds here. First down and 10. There we go. Little fake reverse. Jordan James. I like that. I like that creativity. Where's more of that? Like we only get Will Stein creativity like that like once or twice a game, Look at this direct snap by Jordan James. Wildcat, a fake reverse. Like, where's that been all day? Oh, yeah, Love was out as well. Des Johnson. 1st down. Ducks. Gabriel, good protection there. Going deep, back shoulder. Wow. Okay, we rip into Dylan Gabriel a lot where he doesn't have the arm strength to make a throw. Back shoulder, perfect throw right here. Look at this replay. Look at Ferg. He said, throw it to me. Back shoulder, bang, falling down. Beautiful. That was an NFL throw right there and an NFL catch. Nice job by Gabriel to Ferg. Nice job. Ferguson, baby. That was beautiful. Now we got trips left. We've seen, better offense in these last couple plays than we've had all day. I mean, besides Jordan James rumbling and a bumbling. Screen pass. Here we go. Block. Oh. Fuck. How do you drop that? I got Ferg trying to compare Ferg to Kelsey. Second down and 10. Shotgun set. Noah Whittington, short game. Unbelievable. I can't believe he missed that catch. But again, I'm still, even though that drop was bad, the Ferg back shoulder was beautiful. That was one of the best throw and catch combos I've seen all season, for a first down that didn't end up in a touchdown as a result. And I like the Wildcat look out of Jordan James. I think we should implement that a little bit more, and he could obviously flip it for a reverse. And, I want to see some jet sweeps, like let's mix up the creativity a little bit more. We don't have to be so vanilla all the time. Vanilla ice cream is good, but, chocolate and strawberry are good too. Gabriel going deep. He's got a man. Oh, what effort. And he might have got the wind knocked out of him after that one. Evan Stewart is down. He got the wind knocked out of him on that one. He went all up for that one. I hope he's okay. That's definitely wind knocked out. Damn. That one hurt. Great protection by the center there. Moving off one individual and going and getting help on the left tackle there. That was pretty. And look at him go up to the high point. Oh, and just out of reach. And it bang, falls on his back really hard. Wind knocked out. Hopefully Evan Stewart is okay. if I ever get quiet and you're wondering what I'm doing, you already know what I'm doing. I'm on the fantasy app. I'm always there. I'm always going to be on there, refreshing, looking, seeing if the point numbers are different, if there's new available talent that's available, new news, spying on all your guys' team, all your guys' players on the bench, looking ahead at your guys' schedules. I am spying on all of you guys. Jaden Reed and Wicks about to have a big weekend. Romeo Dobbs dealing with a personal issue. He's out. It's going to be Wicks, Reed, and Kraft. Could have some huge numbers against the Rams. Let's go. And I usually don't pick up Packer players regardless, but again, for me to, how everyone has like either a team or players that they don't really like, they maybe avoid, but again, I gotta be able to forgive, I gotta be able to appreciate talent wherever it's at. And if that means I have to roster a Packer player here and there, if I feel it's going to help me win, well, so be it. Hell, I wish I had Jaden Reed like Sarah does. He's been amazing. And you're actually, blessed that you have him since Tyreek doesn't have a quarterback to throw. Now you at least have a replacement for Tyreek point-wise. 4th down and 5, 50-yard attempt by Atticus Sappington. This might be a little bit out of his range, about 5 yards too long. Kick is up, and he got it. Wow. Sappington, maybe he would have made that from 55. Normally about 45 is about his range. Atticus. Nice job. Yeah, I should have drafted Jaden Reed. I already, based on what we saw last year, and again, Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs flashed last year and had some moments, but you're definitely seeing Reed as the number one with the rapport with Jordan Love for sure. I mean, it's just like this stat that I shared with Reflect yesterday. Bo Nix has 2 rushing touchdowns, right? Achane, 1. Aaron Jones, who? Aaron Jones, 1. Bajan, 1. Najee, 0. Jacobs, 0. Wild. Who would have thought that? Seems like it might not be the year of the running back or the tight end this year. But I don't know if anyone would have thought that, with over a month gone in the season. We're in week 5, and you would think some of these guys would score 2 or 3 times in a game. Like, pretty wild. You have injuries to your quarterback, or you're just not getting the ball like you used to on your former team. Maybe Packer fans wishing that they still had Aaron Jones, but Aaron Jones only has 1 tutty for Minnesota. Jacobs has 0. So it's not like Aaron Jones has got 10 tutties right now, but that's pretty wild. I don't think anyone would have anticipated that. I wish we could have made field goal kicks against you guys last year, but you know what? Even though you guys, ended up having, the best of us, it was a really fun thing for me to be able to watch. Most Oregon fans were in hell, but again, I love talent, and I love being able to watch teams that normally aren't good get great, and it was awesome to see you guys fumble, get him. Oh. And I had a great time watching the Ducks play last year, but man, you guys really had something special. And I think if you recognize talent, and not be a hater, you can, usually get an idea of when a team is special. And the Huskies were it. And if you guys would have played anybody but Michigan, a team that ran the ball and played good defense, you might have been able to come out with that natty. It was just, the worst possible opponent. I mean, obviously Georgia and Bama wouldn't have been easy either, but I think you would have been able to match up with them a little bit better, based on scheme and the way that Michael Penix Jr. was able to sling it last year. 2nd and 16. But still, to get to the natty for the Huskies was a big deal. First down, Spartans. (24-0) Oregon. And we have 2 interceptions in the red zone. 3rd down and 2. Shotgun set, and that is timeout by the Spartans. Great defense triumphs, over a great off. I mean, why do you think I got Matt's Bronco D? I've been watching them since week 1, and I kind of had an idea that even if they were losing games, that the defense could put up 10 points. And then, week 1 looked good, week 2 looked good, week 3 looked good, even though it was a little bit lower. And then last week, so you can still lose games, but if your defense is legit, not only will it keep you in games, but you can still score good fantasy points even if the team loses the game. And not many defenses can do that. Like maybe the Jets, the Broncos. There's only going to be a few where you might end up losing the game, but the defense can still put up 10 and or more, and that's special. 3rd down and 7. Surtain might be the best corner in football right now. I believe he is. Birch, and complete. Childs couldn't get it done to Birch and Marsh. Yeah, but great defense. It's very true. Just like in baseball in the playoffs, right? Great pitching and defense beats great hitting every time. Because the great hitting will turn into average. And if you can't defend and you can't pitch, you are done. But again, the media always talks about offense in all sports. But, anyone that really watches sports understands, if you got elite D and elite coaching, that will definitely surpass great offense every single time. I mean, look what the Bucs did to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the one Super Bowl that they lost, right? Mahomes didn't even throw a touchdown pass, which still, to this day, blows my mind. As good of a quarterback Mahomes was back then. Now, in the last 2 years, Mahomes hasn't looked very good. Tez? Ooh, got crushed. Hopefully he's okay. (24-0) Oregon. I don't know if MSU, I don't think he I thought this was going to happen, but I knew we were going to win this game. But, it's like every week you just want to see the team improve slightly, and again, Gabriel obviously still not a lot of arm strength to make a lot of the throws that we need him to make, but good enough where the opponent, isn't threatening us. And you got to think to hold them to a 0. That's pretty good. I mean, this is the best game that we've played, even with mistakes, since the Oregon State game. And I don't know if it'll end at a 0, but if we can end up winning this game, 38-0 or 38-3, that's a pretty big statement, considering the 2 red zone interceptions by Gabriel that were terrible. So, all right, I'm going to look at the college schedule for tomorrow. Seeing if there's anything that's worth me waking up extra early for. Ooh, look at Syracuse and UNLV. I have no interest, but it's 31-31, and UNLV is ranked. All right, we got Penn State and UCLA at 9 a.m., and that will be by what? That'll be with Gus and Joel Klatt, I assume. So I'll wake up and watch a little bit of that for them. They're my favorite. We got Missouri and A&M, 9 versus 25 at 9. SMU and Louisville. Ohio State and Iowa. Ooh, Iowa. 3-1. At least you guys have a 3-1 record going into the game. But that one might get ugly. I think everyone knows that. Georgia and Auburn. Ole Miss and South Carolina. Indiana ranked against Northwestern. Indiana 5-0 for the first time in a billion years. Good for them. Bama versus Vanderbilt. That's a blowout. Clemson and Florida State. Florida State's garbage. Boise State and Utah State. Genting. I might watch that just to see him rumble and bumble for 3, 4, 5 touchdowns. Tennessee and Arkansas, Michigan and Washington. So that'll be on around the same time as the WWE pay-per-view. So I will be watching a little bit of that while I watch WWE for sure. USC Minnesota at the same time at 4:30. I guess I'm watching that too. And then we got Iowa State Baylor, and then Miami and California at 7:30, which I will tune in for Cam Ward. And they also have Damian Martinez, the former Oregon State Beaver, best running back, best player on the team. So Miami being 5-0 is because they plucked, Washington State's best player, Cam Ward, quarterback, and plucked Oregon State's best player, Damian Martinez, at running back. So if you haven't caught Miami so far, I would highly recommend watching them. They're really fun to watch. Even though we know Mario Cristobal fucked up, a few times, after he left Oregon to take his job at his alma mater, like that one game where all they had to do was do the kneel down, and then they fumbled and ended up losing the game. But I think he's learned from his mistakes, and we'll see if Mario Cristobal and company can keep the Cam Ward and the U streak rolling. I actually would have preferred Cam Ward over Dylan Gabriel at Oregon if we had a choice between one or the other. Oh, give me Cam Ward, no question. Yeah, I had to deep dive and look because I went and when I watch Oregon State games, there was rumors that Damian was going to leave because obviously Jonathan Smith left. So, I had to go back and I had to go through, look at rosters. And then I was like, oh, there he is. And that was about 2-3 weeks ago. And I was like, where the hell did he land? And then he's right there as RB1, and he's an NFL kind of running back. I don't know, his numbers aren't as good right now compared to what it was at Oregon State. But when he was at Oregon State for the 2 years, when he was getting a lot of touches, I mean, he looked like an NFL running back. And, we'll see on how it looks, obviously, on ACC play as the year goes on. He hasn't been as dominant as Cam Ward, but it is a good 1-2 punch to pluck, the best two players out of the two remaining teams of the Pac-2 until it obviously expands, which we just got word of that a couple weeks ago. But I was wondering what happened to that guy, and there he is. Gabriel, floater, high, and complete. Need a little bit more touch on that throw to Tez Johnson. Come on now. Rocco Beck. Yeah, I remember him. Mostly known for the Jets, but a little bit with the Bucks. If the Beavers still had Damian Martinez, man, they would be so much better than what they are now. We wouldn't have blasted them as much as we did when we played them, a few weeks back. Because Martinez is a guy that could put up 2, 3, 4 touchdowns in a game, or at least he could on Oregon State. I don't know necessarily on the U, but. But Ward, he's got 18 tutties and 4 picks. Damian Martinez, 54 carries, 254 yards, and 4 TDs. So he's their leading running back. And then Russ Rippo, the receiver, has got 5 tutties. So, we're only in the first month. And Martinez is averaging about a tutty a game. But Ward has just been beast mode. Ward has definitely got a chance to, develop his skills at the next level. Gabriel, 3rd and 6. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Wow. 8 Mississippis before he threw that. And that footage that I showed you in the Carolinas, and it's crazy like how the government isn't helping. And I get it, when you have foreign countries that are at war and you're sending billions of dollars away. But whenever we need help, America, who helps us? Fucking nobody. And then when we need help, from our government and from our higher ups to help our own, they turn a blind eye and they just say, fuck it. Like, that's not right. And I get it. It's like, we're sending a lot of aid and money to these foreign countries that need it. But what about us? What about the people that are dying, that are living on top of their roofs? People that are in those flood areas that have been blocked off. And you're even getting certain personnel that are not allowing people to help other people. This is ridiculous, man. We got offsides there. Free play, and that leads to a sack lunch that doesn't count. But a lot of people are losing their lives. They've reported 200, but it's more like 500 if we're really being real. And the numbers might even be higher than that. hopefully everyone, can hopefully get to higher ground and to get out of that situation. But I mean, seeing houses split in two, by power poles, it's just devastating. I've seen a couple footages of grandmas having to jump out the window with a life jacket on and being floated away and having to have neighbors like jump in the water to rescue them. Scary stuff, man. I don't know how you guys do it, people that live in the Midwest and the East Coast, man. I don't think I could do it, man. Having to worry about tornadoes and hurricanes and flooding. Man, it's like, I'm blessed to live here in Oregon on the West Coast where we don't have to worry about tsunamis unless you live on the Oregon coast. But man, prayers up for everyone that lives, out there in the Carolinas. That shit is tragic as hell. 3rd down and 6. I just hate people losing their lives, There we go, Tez. Hit him with the skirt. First down, Ducks. There we go. Yeah, anybody that lives in Florida, Louisiana, or in the Carolinas, all in that area, that is just, I don't know how people do it. Lose a home, and then work a job, and then try to get another home, and then it happens again. Like, how many times do you have tragedy happen to you with, these crazy circumstances, controlled by the gods, and where you can just stay there and feel comfortable? And I get it. People are born and bred and they want to stay there and rebuild, but I don't know how many tragic things could happen to me before I said, fuck it, I can't do this anymore. I've lost everything. Can I do this again? Can I mentally go through this again? Crazy. Well, prayers up for your college roomie. What part of Florida? In California? Yeah. And like you said, with like global warming and everything else, I don't think it just depends on the individual if you read and you pay attention to what's going on in the world or not. But I always like to be able to kind of keep up, not just sports. Like people think, all it is sports for Northwest sports fanatics. But, I'm much more than that. It's just one piece of who I am, but I like keeping up on, what's going on in our world. Nice throw there by Gabriel. Nice clean pocket as well. Tez, put your head down, Bubba. There you go. So many tragedies, so many lost lives, so many things that could have been prevented. Jordan James run up the gut for nothing. All right, end of the 3rd quarter, 24-0, Oregon. Yeah, I was going to say on a scale of the offense and defense, the offense today, probably gets, especially with those 2 picks in the red zone, probably a 5, but the defense, this is the best the defense has looked since the Oregon State game. I mean, this has been an 11 out of 10. I mean, we're holding Michigan State to 0, and it's not like Michigan State is 0-5. They're 3-2, 1-1 in the Big Ten. That's a big deal. We just got to make sure that the offense can match the defense, and hopefully one day we will. Yeah, I saw Dolly Parton did $1 million out of her own bank account, and she got people to match. In instances like this, like I wish that I had more fame at certain circumstances and more money in my bank account, so that way I could actually help. I'm not there. I can't do it. Like I'm always going to support mental health. I'm always going to support the, cats and dogs and the ability of what they can do for you and help out with your mental health, but in obviously tragedy, it would be really nice, if I was rich or I could actually do my part and I could help. One day, not today, but one day I will. All right, let's look ahead for baseball. All right, Saturday, Tigers, Guardians, Mets, Phillies, Royals, Yankees, Padres, Dodgers. What do you guys think? Tigers or Guardians winning that series? I guess it really depends on how many games Screwball pitches. Phillies, Mets, Phillies. Royals, Yankees is a little bit closer than people think after the Royals absolutely dominated the Orioles. Royals have a chance. with Bobby Witt Jr. as long as he doesn't get hurt. And Padres-Dodgers could go either way as well. And then Tuesday, we're going to do Dodgers-Padres at 6 o'clock on FS1. And on Wednesday, we'll do Dodgers-Padres again, unless I decide to do Yankees-Royals instead. But we're going to do either Yankees-Royals on Wednesday, or we're going to do back-to-back games with Dodgers-Padres on Tuesday, Wednesday. And then let's look to see what Thursday Night Football is for next week, which will be Niners-Seahawks. Ooh, that'll be great. So we got Jets, Vikings in London, which makes me a little nervous with Sam Darnold as quarterback. He's been great, but can I trust him against the Jets defense? Is he going to put up 10 points in his worst game of the year? Possibly. Or does he put up 14 to 20 just because he's, balling out like he has been? We'll find out. Ravens-Bengals, rivalry game. Colts-Jags. A good opportunity for either Richardson to get back on track with the oblique, or Joe Flacco will come in and dominate. Dolphins-Patriots. Browns-Commanders. I'll be watching a little bit of that just for Jaden Daniels. Bills-Texans. Panthers-Bears. Raiders-Broncos. Cardinals-Niners. Packers-Rams. Giants-Seahawks. Cowboys-Steelers. Excited about that. Captain Oreo picked up Fields to go against Dak. Should be interesting. And it's in Pittsburgh, so the fans are going to go nuts. If it was in Dallas, it would probably be a disadvantage for Fields, but playing in front of his home crowd, he should be able to get more plays in the air and on the ground, and the Steelers legitimately have a chance to win that game. And then you got Saints and Chiefs on Monday night. Man, I'm excited. We got some good games. And then they got the Shout, which is one of my favorite traditions in college football. I love being at Autzen. I feel like for me, I feel most at home at Autzen for Oregon games and in Seattle for Mariner games. There's not a better environment than those two places, man. Kids and adults both love it. Gabriel, 2nd and 10. He's open. Ferg, you're looking like Travis Kelce out there. Focus. What happened to my hands? Come on, Ferg. Help Gabriel out. I mean, it's bad enough Gabriel already has 2 picks in the end zone. That's right there. That's what you call looking ahead and not securing the catch. Thinking about scoring and getting into the end zone before you actually have, the football in your hands. Come on, Ferg. Aaron Rodgers, but it is in London though. Remember that. It's not, in New York, right? And it's not in Minnesota, it's in London. And traditionally, games in London are sloppy. If you go back and remember, I don't know if you guys are crazy and that wake up at 6:30 in the morning and watch, but I usually do. I sometimes I say fuck it, and I'll just wake up naturally, and I'll be at halftime. I'll wake up at 7 or 8 p.m. But there'll be other days where I'm like, fuck it, let's wake up early, and then I'll watch. And obviously, I have Sam Darnold as my fantasy quarterback now, so it's he could end up, being better than we think, and he could end up hitting 20 points. He might hit his projected 15, or the Jets might have an amazing day, and he might end up hitting 10. But we'll have to wait and see. Jordan James trucking. It's one of my dad's favorite songs there with Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead. Trucking. Great song. And have you noticed also, too, with Travis Kelce's production being down, that we haven't seen Taylor Swift really at all this season? It was almost like they were trying to take advantage of all the hype and the relationship and obviously how good the Chiefs were doing. And now the Chiefs are still good, but Mahomes hasn't really looked good. Kelce hasn't gotten the ball, and we really haven't seen a whole lot of Taylor. I mean, obviously, we're probably going to see her on Monday night, but we haven't really been flooded on the timeline or in games with her as much as we were last year, which is probably a good thing, right? Pass interference, defense. There we go. What were they trying to do to Ferg right there? They were trying to do a Taylor Swift to Travis Kelce. You can't hug Ferg. You can't be like Taylor Swift trying to hug Travis Kelce after the game is over. Come on. Michigan State trying to be like Taylor Swift right there. Come on now. He was hugging. Ripple. Grateful Dad's got some great stuff, man. I've gotten a lot of gifts from my dad over the years. Jordan James bouncing it to the outside. Oh, tripped up. That could have been a tutty. And I really like the helmet with the wings and the O in the back. Very, very, very sleek, very slick, very clean. Yeah, I mean, Brees is normally not going to have too many off games, but again, remember, projections in London sometimes end up being a little sloppy. The field, not the greatest, a lot of slippage. Hopefully no one tears an ACL, MCL, PCL, or an Achilles. But again, games are typically a little bit lower scoring than they are in America. Not saying that it can't be a great game, but be a little weary with your players in fantasy that are playing in London. If you go back and look, every once in a while, there'll be a pretty high-scoring affair in London, but for a majority, games are a little bit lower scoring, a little bit sloppy, but we'll find out. Hopefully it ends up being an exciting game because both defenses are good. Minnesota has been better at defense this year than expected. The Jets defense has always been top 5 for the last 4 or 5 years. They've always been pretty fucking good, right? And in the offenses, you got Darnold, you got Rodgers, you got Brees, you got Aaron Jones, you got Jetta, you got Addison, Hawkinson coming back pretty soon. You got Garrett Wilson, even though he's pissed because he's not getting the ball, right? So you got weapons. Allen the Lizard Lazard might end up hitting the end zone. So we'll see on how it goes, but hopefully it ends up being a fun game to watch, especially if I wake up at 6:30 to watch it, right? Yeah, I'm jealous of my best friend Justin. Got to see Green Day and Smashing Pumpkins and a few other bands here in Oregon. And it was outside, and my buddy got rained on for the first couple bands. But obviously when, Smashing Pumpkins came out, and he said Smashing Pumpkins wasn't as good as he hoped, but Green Day killed it. And I wish I had the extra money because my buddy had floor seats too. It would have been an amazing concert. And again, when I grew up, obviously rap is always going to be kind of like my go-to, hip-hop. But when I first, got introduced to kind of alternative music and kind of rock, besides my dad, listening to Ozzy and Black Sabbath, and we would go camping and listen to a little country with like Alabama and Grateful Dead, for that soul music, but I listened to Young MC, Vanilla Ice, and obviously, going into Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Tupac, Biggie, Bone Thugs. But I remember my first 2 CDs were recommended to me by a Jehovah Witness friend. Green Day Dookie was my first CD that I ever bought at like a Tower Records or at a place, and I loved it. And then also Aerosmith Big Ones. And my first concert was Aerosmith in the early 90s, like in 92, when they were still good, when they still were on point. And, again, like I still will have mad love, for Aerosmith from back in the day, but Green Day Dookie is amazing. That is still something that is iconic to this day. I love Green Day. But also, too, another concert, like my buddy was asking me, you wouldn't necessarily pay out of your way to go see somebody, maybe Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Green Day. But I told him if I could actually go see someone and if they were still like touring and still good, I think Red Hot Chili Peppers would be high on my list. I've never seen them. I love their music. And again, that would be amazing. I had floor seats to see Ozzy, but then we had COVID and then he got sick. And me and my buddy had really expensive tickets that were like $300 to $500 a piece. And, and imagine a meet and greet with Ozzy. And I never got to do it. And my life would have been changed, to be able to get a handshake and a photo with Ozzy. My life would have been complete. But, his age and his health and COVID kind of did us dirty because the concert was scheduled and then they rescheduled it for the next year and didn't refund the tickets. And then eventually the third year came around and then they had to cancel. But that's one thing that I kind of regret. I never got to see Ozzy perform. Would have been awesome to see him at Ozfest in the 90s. Short gain on 3rd and goal. Atticus Sappington kicked the field goal, baby. Yeah, Chili Peppers is money. It's like good music, just like Ozzy. Like some music is like forever, and I feel like music from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s is like, man, it's so different to what we have now. Like the music in the last 25 years is nowhere near as good as some of the stuff in the 90s and the early 2000s. But I really like 60s, 70s, 80s music a lot. I like the old school music where it actually had meaning and soul. Gabriel, wide open, touchdown, Ducks. Great play call. Ted Johnson, baby, here we go. Hell yeah. Nice job, Tez. I agree, man. Like, and again, it's like I feel like, if you're younger, you don't know any better, but again, it's like if you end up listening to, something from back in the day that, has some substance to it, like the Beatles, it's amazing where it makes you feel something. And I feel like a lot of music nowadays, it doesn't make you feel anything. It's just beats, people trying to make money, mumble rap, or people just trying to, stay popular with their music videos. But I just don't really feel there's a lot of people that have music that move you anymore. There'll be a few like Adele, and there's certain people that still have music that makes you feel something, but they're far and few between now. Nice throw from Gabriel. Nice catch by Tez. 31-0 Ducks. I love my Ducks. Let's go, baby. Probably shouldn't be wearing these since these are game used from the Natty, but you know what? Got to be able to rep. And my other ones are, got that lime green apple, so I can't wear those. Otherwise, they'll get distorted. It would be nice if I could actually wear a lot of the other merch that I own, like all my green apple stuff and the gloves and everything, but at least I have others to wear. Oh, you already know. Chip Kelly, all day, every day. We're running everything that Chip ran. Everything. If I'm the head coach, you could be the play caller. You run it. I'll coach the defense. You coach the offense. But Chip Kelly all the way. No doubt. 100%. Bon Jovi. Oh, Living on a Prayer. That's amazing. Yeah, and like I feel with like Black Sabbath and Ozzy too, it never gets old to me. Like I feel like when you have appreciation, and love for a particular artist, like and it's just like eternal. Like there's never going to be a moment where people think Ozzy's music sucks or Black Sabbath sucks. Like it's so fucking good, and you just got to think with all the drinking and the partying. And the the drug usage and the drinking and like to be able to still make amazing music. Good for him to be able to step away from that scene with Sharon and the family and to be able to be clean. Because obviously, if he wasn't, we would have lost Ozzy years ago. But just to be able to understand, like you hear him talk and then you hear him sing, it's completely different. Because obviously he's got his different twang, based on how he talks. Like if you ended up watching the Osbournes, or if you ended up watching him and Jack, go on different locations on a few different shows, like on the Travel Channel, where they would try to make up for time that he missed on tour. And him and his son Jack would like visit different locations across the country. They no longer make episodes of that show anymore. But to be able to listen to him sing compared to how he talks, it's like you never would guess that that's the same guy. But love me some Ozzy. 31-0 Ducks, baby. Oh yeah, Queen is great too. But again, if you're younger, you may not understand, because obviously you're only, you're only used to what's around you, in this younger generation of music and whatnot. So, but I feel like music that has meaning, we haven't had that in a long, long time. All right. $90 boy. Of course you would like that. I mean, but I won't lie. I ended up having CDs of all of them. I had 98 Degrees. I had Backstreet Boys. I had NSYNC. I even bought Justin Timberlake's single album. You know, if you grew up in the TRL, 106 in Park, BET, MTV era, you know, you had a little bit of everything. You know, a little pop, a little rock, a little rap, and whatnot. So, you know, every every era is going to end up having, you know, their time. So, and if you really think about it, some of the music that, those boy bands made back then, it's still kind of maybe not necessarily relevant today, but it's still like one of those songs when you hear it, it kind of makes you smile, you know, even though, it may have been past its prime now, but still there is a pretty loyal following to those three bands. 98 Degrees, not as much compared to Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, but, you know, Giles going deep, flag on the play. First down, Spartans. Let's see if that ends up being a hold or what that play is. Foster Jr. with the catch. Holding on the defense. Try to get to 20 likes. I don't know if we're going to get there. Where are we at right now? We're only a few away, I feel. We're at 16. We need 4 more likes to get to 20. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. I imagine everyone in the room probably already has. We're at 17. 3 more to get to 20. We've got to get to 20 before the stream ends. First down and 10. Get him. Little screen pass. Oh, missed tackle. God damn it. Got a tackle there. I would really love to hold this team to a 0, but I don't know if that's possible. But anytime you have a shutout and there's 10 minutes left, there's a pride thing. You know, effort. You know, you want to make sure you're holding them to 0, and if not 0, only 3. No tutties, but look how close they are now. It's going to take a big turnover. Some kind of strip sack or interception or fumble. But they definitely are in field goal range now. Man in motion. Play action fake. Childs wide open. Another first down. First down, Spartans. Belling with the catch. Exactly. Everyone wants a 0. Just like I said, anytime you see a 0 and you got, 10 minutes left, you really want to, there's a pride and there's a big, kind of respect and aura that you get when you can get a 31-0 type of score. Even if we don't score anymore, but we can hold them to 0 for a team that's 3-2 and 1-1 in the Big Ten. Halfback toss. Diving for the end zone. Did he get there? Just short. Flag on the play. Hopefully that's a hold and that comes back. But looks like more than likely it's going to be at least a touchdown. Flag on the play. Laundry on the field. Oh, it's on the defense. Damn. Now they're definitely scoring a touchdown, 100%. Probably got some backups in there right now, too, since we're up 31-0. So if you don't have your starters in the game, obviously mistakes are going to happen. but it also gives some good experience for players that never would have been able to touch the field unless we were up 31-0. So a good block right there up front by 12. First and goal, man in motion. Handoff. Touchdown, Spartans. K-Ron Lynch Adams with the tutty. Yeah, well, you know. But also, too, you got to think where the Huskies are and where Oregon is right now. We're on two different paths. You know, again, we still have a lot of weaknesses. But again, you guys lost a lot from last year. We did as well. But of course, recruiting isn't the same for the Huskies and the Ducks. So I get it. Extra point is up, and it's good. All right, let's see if Oregon can get at least one more touchdown here. 31-7 Oregon. Well, at least we're not losing 31-7. I'd lose my goddamn mind right now if that was the case. I can't deal with a Buccaneer loss and a Duck loss in back-to-back days. That would be not good for my mental health. Illinois State. Yeah. Well, it's hard to shut out anybody in college football, if we're really being honest, and in the NFL. It's not easy. But again, you know, having some backups in there to get some reps, you know, it's good for the experience because you never know. It's like next man up mentality. If we end up having an injury, you want some of those bench guys to have a little bit of playing time out there, even if that means that we give up a touchdown, you know. Yeah. At some point, you know, we'll get back, you know, to obviously the main rivalry with the Huskies and the Ducks, right? And with a running back, you know, like Jonah Coleman, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now we got next week, we got Oregon and Ohio State, which will be crazy. 3 versus 6, Oregon versus Purdue. After that, Illinois and Oregon, Oregon and Michigan, Maryland and Oregon, Oregon and Wisconsin, and at the very end, Washington and Oregon to end the season. Can't wait for that. And it's in Austin too. I might go to that game. You know, it depends on, you know, if I'm going to go to a game, I would rather go see a team that wasn't from the Pac-12 and whatnot. I'd rather see that than Maryland or Illinois. And obviously, Ohio State tickets are like fucking insane, like $500. So I don't got money for that. But obviously, Ohio State would be my first choice unless someone gifts me tickets like last year when I got to go to Colorado, which was very cool. And see Oregon beat the shit out of Deion and Shedeur Sanders. But I think if I can go to one game, it would be that Husky game. So we'll see where the donos are and where my money is at that particular time. But that might be the game that is circled on the calendar if I have the money for it. Yeah, I know there is a few teams I was just looking at to see who's like ranked, right? So as I'm looking at, you know, who's ranked and whatnot. So Ohio State's 3, Illinois 24, Michigan is 10. You know, so it's like, yeah, you know, at least at this point, there's some ranked opponents in there. Hand off and thrown back. Uh-oh. Oregon and Michigan State getting a little chippy there. Dante Moore in the game. Let's go. And it was kind of shitty because Travis Hunter was hurt. If you remember last year, and they were still going to lose, but it would have been sweet to be able to see him, play corner and get a touchdown and maybe get a pick but he was hurt last year, but it really wouldn't have made a difference. Oregon was going to blow him out no matter what. Unsportsmanlike. Second down. All right, that was on offense. Okay. All right, come on, Dante. I don't know if any of the starters are still in there with Dante, but it'd be nice for him to be able to at least have a decent drive, but we'll see. Look at that zip. Look at that zip. 1,000 times better than Dylan Gabriel. Look at that zip on that football. That's what I want, baby. Well, Iowa normally isn't good on offense. Anyone that watches college football, they got usually good tight ends and they're known for defense, but typically they don't have good quarterback play. And, usually a mid-level team in the Big Ten, and like near Wisconsin and a few of those other teams. But, once the offense gets better, then if it can match the defense, then Iowa could end up, doing something, but you guys never really, it's been a while since you guys have had a matching offense to your defense. Come on, Dante. Go, Dante. Nice business decision there on third down. Yeah, Caleb Johnson's nice, and you guys usually have good tight ends and whatnot. But I would say this. Anybody that plays Oregon this year has a better chance beating us than they did in previous years, because this is our weakest team that we've had from top to bottom. So, again, if Iowa ended up getting an early 14-0 lead, they might be able to win. If the defense plays well and the offense was able to do just enough. But again, we'll find out as we get further into the Big Ten schedule if we end up getting into that situation where we get punched in the mouth early and we get down by 13-14. Can we come back? And we haven't really been put in that position yet, but we'll find out. So, yeah, I watched quite a few Iowa games last year, and I usually try to keep an eye on them just because that's, obviously Sarah's team, and obviously now you're a part of the channel and part of your team as well. But yeah, frustrating to watch an offense that can't, do anything, But at least defensively, you guys are a brick house. You guys are awesome on that side of the ball. Oh, yeah. Ohio State and Oregon, that's must-see TV, baby. One of the best games. Well, again, on paper, it looks like it's going to be one of the best games. But, again, we might get blasted. Like, we might end up losing that by 10, 14, 17. And, honestly, it wouldn't shock me if we ended up losing by 20. I don't know what our chances are of winning that game. But I know that all the players are going to be up for that one. But I don't really see any scenario in my head us winning that game. But you never know. It could happen. We beat Ohio State with no Kayvon Thibodeau in the shoe, and no one gave us a shot then, and we won then. So never say never. We're definitely going to need the fan support. Like, the fans are going to be so fucking loud, and we're going to need it. We're going to need some false starts on that Ohio State offense. We're going to need the crowd to be on a decibel level that we've never heard before, and we probably will break a record next week. But it still might not be enough to beat a team like that. They are very, very good. Ohio State could literally win the Natty. Them, Georgia, and Bama, and Texas are legit Natty contenders. Oregon, sad to say, is not. But we could still end up being a playoff team, but we're not on the same level as those four teams. Little check down. But the thing is, anyone that watches Iowa football, that one might be over in the first quarter, and I hope it's not. But Ohio State is a different animal. Look at how many NFL players are on that roster. It is ridiculous. The coaching, Ryan Day, Chip Kelly. I mean, they got NFL players on every fucking level. Like every level. The line, the linebackers, the secondary, the line, the running backs, the wide receivers. They got themselves a squad. Quarterback could be a little bit better, but other than that, 3rd down and 1. Yeah, I think that's the one thing that might be able to give us a real shot is if we can win the special teams battle, play great defense, and then have the crowd will us to like a 3-point victory. Something like it would be small, if we ended up winning, 27-24, like a smash mouth game where you get the best effort. Like it's literally like a bowl game, and if we get that kind of effort, then we might be able to surprise. But again, can we play 4 quarters of that kind of intensity without tiring ourselves out or getting hurt? And that's the real question. So, but I mean, if we were at Ohio State, it would be much harder, but at Austin, if the defense plays well, we're going to have a shot. The crowd is going to be fucking electric, man. And again, if I'm streaming the game, it's going to be on. And if I'm not streaming, I'm there. I will be at the game if I'm not streaming. But at this point, I have no money for the tickets. But I would love to be there. Even if we ended up losing, it would be a great experience to go. Uh-oh. He's got all day and all night sliding in safe. First down. Spartans. They got their backup in as well. Like we would need to get like a pick 6, a fumble for a touchdown, a punt return or kick return for a touchdown. We would need something extra to be able to win that game, other than just getting sack lunches and just the regular defensive prowess that we're used to. We would have to come up with some extra to be able to get that dub, and maybe we'll get it. You never know. It's going to be electric though, and it definitely is one of the best games of the year, just like Georgia-Bama was. Then the next best one, Oregon and Ohio State for sure. Obviously, Texas matching up against Georgia and Bama is great as well. Whether it's Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning. Too bad Arch Manning didn't transfer and come to Oregon. Can you imagine if we had Arch Manning as the Oregon quarterback, how much better we would be? Quinn Ewers stays at Texas and then Arch came to Oregon. Oh, my. That would have been amazing. Does he secure the bag? Hell, if Iowa wins tomorrow, that might be the biggest win in their team history based on how good Ohio State is this year. Like, it would be huge. Shocking. I'll watch a little bit of your guys' game for sure. I love college football. I love the camaraderie, the cheerleaders, the coaching, the music, the bands, the college kids and the adults, merging together. I just love college football. I mean, I would love to have a pro NFL team here in Oregon, but having the Oregon Ducks here, it kind of makes up for it. Arch is amazing. Quinn Ewers is amazing too. I mean, let's be real. Like, those might be the 2 best quarterbacks in college football. I mean, Cam Ward is good. Shedeur Sanders to me is a little overrated. You know what I mean? And again, the whole thing with him and Dion and everything, a little bit too cocky for my liking. I think that, depending on the team that he goes to, he might be able to do a little bit here, a little bit there. But I think there's more of a chance for him being a bust in the NFL than actually being like legit. I like Cam Ward a little bit more personality-wise than Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders is just kind of like the Sanders family. A little too cocky for me, and they're not going to be as good as, obviously, Dion. But Travis Hunter, he has a chance to be the real deal. He's better than Shedeur. Travis Hunter could be a legit corner or a legit receiver, but again, just because you're good in college doesn't mean you're going to be good in the pros. But I think Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning are super fun to watch. I mean, if we're talking about all the elite teams, Ohio State's quarterback, Georgia's quarterback, not so much. Milroe is fun to watch. Cam Ward is fun to watch. But I think for me, for my bottom dollar, I think Arch and Quinn are probably two of the best to watch. They're super exciting, and it's cool that Texas is relevant again. Not just because of Matthew McConaughey. All right. It's just cool to be able to see teams that have been good in the past. In the Vince Young era and Ricky Williams, and then they kind of fell off, and then they got back to where they were. It's cool to be able to see them, especially, you always are going to have the Red River shootout with like the Oklahoma-Texas rivalry, but it's a little different now because they're in the SEC, not in the Big 12, so it's kind of different. God, Acho is so annoying. Put a muzzle on. You're terrible, bro. So many of these people that are former NFL players are just trash. You're making my eyes bleed, my ears bleed. Terrible. Terrible. All these people wish they could be as talented as Gus Johnson. And guess what? You're never going to be. Gus is real. He's not fake. He brings that genuine, natural passion, and he's super intelligent. Gus and Joel Klatt, the best duo announcing group in sport, period. Even better than the NFL guys. Okay? You got Jim Nantz, you got Tony Romo, you got Burkhardt and Brady, and Brady still is a little uneasy on the mic. He's getting better, but he's still not there yet. But nobody is better than Gus and Joel. And they like each other too. They have a great time calling games together. Because you know what? You know how you know that they like each other and they have good vibes? Because they do this right before they start. Like again, if you're not really on point, with your partner, you ain't doing that. You're just all business. But you can definitely tell. Even when Gus was with Charles Davis, they were great. But Joel Klatt is just as equally as great, probably a little bit better than Charles Davis. Charles is good, but Joel is amazing. Joel is the best, at color, great voice, very intelligent, and Gus is the best announcer in sports. That's my idol. Hands down, bar none, the best. But I also like the old school era with like Madden and Summerall and, Keith Jackson doing Pac-10 games. I like, Niehaus and Harry Carey and, listening to like the OGs on the baseball side, Vince Scully. But if I had to choose one person to listen to, or a group, a duo, give me Gus, give me Joel. Hell, I watch games at 9 a.m. in games I don't even give a shit about because they're announcing the game. That's how much I love them. Little play action bootleg. Hit him. Yeah. Good form tackle. Into the ground. Yeah, they got backups in though, Matt. So, again, you can't expect them to play as sharp as they did when they had the starters in. We're at 38-38 UNLV and Syracuse going into overtime. Wow. Friday Night Lights, baby. But I would love to stop them here. We don't want to give up any more than a field goal, but I would love to get a turnover here and just kneel it and end the game. 2nd and 10. Get his ass! Oh, you missed the sack lunch. Get up! Get up! Get up! Energy! There you go! Good effort by the Ducks there. We need 2 more likes to get to 20. Bang, 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 bang. Out of field goal range. Let's go. And that first initial burst, and then you missed it. Don't get down on yourself. Get up. And then you're able to get the sack lunch because you didn't give up on the play. Nice job. Third down and 21. Sack lunch his ass. Got him. Oh. Wow. Pass complete, but about a half second away from a sack lunch. Ohio State, Purdue, Illinois, Michigan, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Washington. The toughest games for us are going to be Ohio State, Michigan, and then that last game against Washington. They're going to give everything that they have. That Washington game is a trap game, 100%. Jonathan Kim his money, and he'll probably make this. 42-yarder, kick us up, and it's good. And we give up 10, but that's okay. Marker down. Hopefully that's on Michigan State. Bring them back. Who's it on? Running into the kicker. Fuck. Decline. And it's good. I wish we had USC on the schedule, if I'm being honest. I like to be able to try to play the best of the best, you know. That's like I want USC, I want Washington, you know, I want Michigan, I want Penn State, you know, I want everybody, but obviously you're not going to be able to have Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, USC all on the schedule. Hi, going through the chemo. Shout out to him, man. This is so true right now. Yes. Last year, but maybe not this year. Your team was equally as good as ours, but, you know, obviously we had bad coaching, you know, not trying to go for field goals when we should have, right? So it was more of a Dan Lanning coaching blunder, but we could have beat you guys. You guys only beat us by 3 twice, you know, but again, this year, even though we're struggling, you know, even though we're undefeated, you know, it feels like we could definitely drop the game to you guys at the end of the year. We'll find out. Let's get to 20 likes. How close are we? I know some of y'all got some backup accounts. Let's go, baby. And then we got the kneel down here. Dante Moore got that zip on that ball, man. I'm intrigued. I need more. I need more Dante Moore, baby. Back-to-back 5-0 starts. First time since 2012, 2013. Let's go, baby. Quack, 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 quack. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Final score, Oregon Ducks 31, Michigan State Spartans 10. And again, we'll be live for the WWE PLE, WWE Bad Blood at, what is it? Is it 3 p.m. Pacific or 2 p.m.? And we're going to end up doing that tomorrow, I believe, 3 p.m. Pacific? And we'll end up doing that. So I'm excited about that very, very much. And I love you guys and I appreciate you. Shout out to Reflect, Captain Oreo, Matt, Sarah, Cole. Love you guys and I appreciate you. And I got one question for you. Well, you know, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang. Go Ducks.